My name is Ruinosku Naruhodo. Why?
Excuse me, but who are you?
What? Oh, I am.
I'm telling you this. I'm telling you this. The third AI Somnium game will be the worst murder in the whole world. It'll be gruesome and grisly, and it will be him. He will be the murderer, and he would have played us all as the fool all along. I bet you. I don't trust this man. Guys, I'm sorry. This is it. This is the end. I can't deal with this. This is too much even for me. I must leave. I must never come back. Oh, old bag. Ending stream because of the old bag. Okay. Thank you.
I've got some jobs ready for you.
I almost got you there. I was gonna say thanks for the stream. Welcome back. Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna give her... So this is my, big plan, is I'm thinking if I do this, then... I'm gonna say patch it up. Because I want to, like... see... I wanna see... Da-da-da-da-da! I wanna see... Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. I'm gonna see... Notifications to connect my Twitch to Amazon. Right, so we're going through door 1 again, right? Of course, there's a reason. Of course. Of course. I can't remember if I talked about it, but I feel like there's gonna be a point in the true ending where you can go through different rooms randomly. Because we still need to know about the safe in room 5. And we found the card in 1 for the library downstairs. Oh, maybe I should be thinking about these answers better. Maybe I should be thinking about the answers better. Maybe it's gonna be one of these stupid answers. There go those two. Alright, we're going through door 1. Oh, yeah, 7 was an asshole to Lotus again, Avia. He said that he didn't mind going through a door with June because it meant that the average age was lower. Alright, we're gonna change this. Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. Ace's eyebrows went up. You checked on us. Now get out of here. We split this stuff up for a reason, alright? It was a lie. There's no reason to split up the work. Junpei wanted to talk to Clover privately. Yo, welcome in, Jonathan. Here's a hydrate. Junpei wanted to talk to Clover privately. That was why he'd sent Ace to the wheelhouse. There was something he meant to ask Clover, and he didn't want anyone else to hear him ask it. He also knew that Clover would likely remain silent if there was anyone else around when he asked. That's why he was so desperate to send Ace back to the wheelhouse. Ace opened his mouth and took another look at Junpei and shut it again. Phew. Junpei let out a sigh and brushed a few drops of sweat from his forehead. He turned and found himself looking straight into Clover's eyes. She'd heard what Ace had said. She regarded Junpei with caution. What was that about? She was clearly suspicious, and with good reason. Junpei's eyes widened, and he held up his hands in a gesture of innocence. Oh, no, it's not like that. What's it like, then? I just wanted to hear the rest of that story. I didn't get a chance to ask you about it until now. What story? About the experiment. Remember? The one you started to tell me about in the operating room. You said something about an experiment that happened here 9 years ago. Clover bit her lip. She stared down on the floor for several long moments, and when she spoke, it was barely audible. I'm sorry, but I don't want to talk about that right now. I'm just not in the mood, okay? You understand, right? I keep thinking about my brother. I can't stop. I mean, who would do something like that? My brother. I can't forgive them. I'm not gonna let them get away with it. They're gonna pay for it, I promise. So... Her shoulders were shaking. Drops of blood had sprung on her lips where she was biting them. She wiped it off and looked up at Junpei, her eyes fierce and angry. Junpei, who do you think did it? Her voice was cold and scarcely above a whisper. Junpei gulped. Well, if what Seven said was right, then there would have to be at least 2 of them. You need at least 3 people to open the numbered doors, and if you subtract Snake, that means there were at least 2 other people. You're right. So what does that mean? Well, if we just look at the bracelet numbers, we should be able to figure it out. Who could have opened door 3 with Snake? Well, really, who and who, or who and who? You mean it could have been 4 people? Well, technically, it's possible. I don't know. That doesn't seem very likely. Why? I'll tell you later. Why don't we just assume it was only 2 other people for now? Okay, got it. Let's do that then. Then who do you think it could be? Junpei crossed his arms and thought. Snake's bracelet was 2, which 2 bracelet numbers added to 2 would give a digital root of 3. I know this! I know this! I know this because I did this on my own! I figured this big brain one out on my own! Would it be Santa and 7? 2 plus 3 plus 7 equal 12. 1 plus 2 equal 3. 3. Could it be? Were Santa and 7 the killers? She knows? I know! What's wrong? Clover looked at Junpei and he looked back at her. There was no point in hiding it. He told her his conclusions. God damn. I've been coughing a lot today. And that's what I thought. He looked less surprised than he'd expected. Santa and 7. If it was 2 people, then that's the only combination that works. Hey, wait a minute there. Don't you think it's a little too early to be jumping to conclusions? Well, all I said is that those 2 would have been able to open door 3 with your brother. There might be other possibilities. Well, what other possibilities? He didn't have an answer. He was ready to admit defeat when Clover spoke. You saying you think that it was 3 or 4 people? I really don't think that's likely. Why? Can I borrow your pen and paper? Clover put her hand out expectantly. Junpei pulled out his pen and pad of paper and handed them to her. She opened a notebook and wrote down several simple additional problems. Eventually, she had 8, which provided a digital root of 3. 2 plus 1 plus 3 plus 6 equal 12. 2 plus 1 plus 4 plus 5 equal 12. 2 plus 4 plus 7 plus 8 equal 12. 2 plus 5 plus 6 plus 8 equal 12. 2 plus 1 plus 3 plus 7 plus 8 equal 21. They're not all 12. I'm just saying 12 out of habit now. Never mind. I'm going to stop saying them out. There, equations. What's this? These are the combinations for 3 or 4 people. These 8 combinations are the only possible ones. I see. Junpei? Yeah? I can trust you, right? Of course. Why would you need to ask that? Really? Yeah. So then I should get rid of B, D, G, and H, right? Of course. Just cross them out. And you should take off yours too, the ones with 4. So what does that leave? A and E. A, 2 plus 1 plus 3 plus 6 equal 12. E, 2 plus 1 plus 3 plus 7 plus 8 equal 21. Wait, it can't be A. Why not? Because June's in that one. There's no way in hell she'd do something like that. Are you sure? I bet my life on it. Okay, then. Then I can cross off A too, right? Plus, I was also with June, so I know June didn't do it because I was with June at the time. Well, what have we got left? E. Alright, so that's Ace, Santa, 7, and Lotus. Do you know what this means? Everyone besides me, you, and June would be working together. Do you think that's likely? If there were 4 people working together, they wouldn't be very cautious. I don't think they'd try that hard to hide what they were doing if they outnumbered us, right? Well, you do have a point. Besides, if Ace and 7 are working together, they could have easily gotten rid of me when I went to the shower room with them. But they didn't. They didn't even try anything. If they were the killers, why wouldn't they? Her voice was calm, but Junpei had only to look in her eye to know it was a forced calm. There were tears forming at the corners of her eyes, and she was blinking furiously to keep them back. Perhaps by attempting an objective analysis of who might have killed her brother, she had been able to distance herself from the harsh reality of his death. The more she struggled to act unconcerned, the more Junpei felt his heart tighten. Okay, yeah, well, that does make sense. Seems pretty unlikely that it was as many as 3 or 4 people. Yeah. Then that means there's a good chance it was Santa and 7. That's how it looks. But why would they do it? There was a moment of silence. I think I know. What is it? He laid his hand gently on her shoulder. He was so close to the answer. When Ace chose the worst possible moment to return. He raised a knowing eyebrow and then spoke. Have I interrupted something? What do you want? There was something I wanted to speak with you about, Junpei. Could you come with me for a moment? He turned on his heel and walked back toward the wheelhouse. Junpei looked over at Clover. He gave her a short nod, hoped that she would be willing to talk to him again later, and followed Ace. What did you want to talk about? Ace looked at Junpei and smiled, perhaps more of a smirk than a smile. There was something I wanted to check. Yeah, what's that? If you'll excuse me. With no warning, Ace slipped his hand into the pocket of Junpei's vest. Hey, what the hell are you doing? He reached for Ace's arm. But it was already too late. In the older man's hands were the pieces of paper Junpei had balled up and hidden in his pocket. Just as I thought. You switched them, didn't you? When we voted. Ah, well, I can't say that I care. I managed to get through the number door I wanted, despite your mischief. Why did you? Oh, simply curiosity. I hope you won't think ill of me for it. Ace smiled, gave Junpei a friendly pat on the shoulder, and then turned on his heel and left. It was a small defeat, but it was a defeat. Junpei had lost the upper hand, and he knew it. He could feel his stomach begin to tense. Am I going back into the room? I don't get to talk to her again. Fantastic, thank you, Ace. Oh, wait a minute. No, I do want to go back into that room. I haven't picked up this. Just in case that's important. Oh, that's not the one I want. The one I want is this. Alright, so, we're going south. Then we're going west. Then we're going southwest. Then we're going northwest. Then we're going east. And then we're going north. I am. Oh yeah, you missed my extremely bad knowledge of South America as well earlier, Avia. It wasn't Akbar levels of terrible, but it showed that I did not know. I mean, I fully admitted I wasn't too sure where these things were, so it's not like I made a fool of myself. I didn't put Spain by Brazil, did I? No. No, I did not. I admitted I wasn't too sure where... Well, I knew kind of where Argentina was, but... Yo, welcome in, the Witch Dahlia. How are you doing? Welcome in, Dahlia. Northern South America get fuzzy, but the distinctive shapes and pretty solid. You were much closer than... I was much closer. I hope you're having a good day, Dahlia. Alright. So now we'll find Zero. This is my fave game. It's slowly becoming one of my favorite games. I've never actually completed it. I played it 2 years ago to one ending, and we're currently on our way to the true ending. Can I just enter the code? Oh wait, I need to get the thing anyway. I didn't really need to pick that one up. Do I like anime? I do like anime. I like some anime. I haven't watched anime in a long while, to be fair. Oh yeah, there's a music box. Wait. Oh, there's a music box. No. Combine, combine. Combine, combine. Oh no, that's the wrong one. Combine, combine. Where am I from? I am from the UK. Oh. Thank you for the bears. Oh, don't worry. I do my own shit. I am an artist. 35, 14, 27, 24. E. There we go. So, this should slightly change now, right? At some point, this should change. He still goes off with Lotus. No! I didn't get a new ending. That wasn't a new ending. Fuck! Fuck! That was literally the only thing I could think of. I was about to say it's a crime not to have a hydrate. Yes, I do have a hydrate. I do need to go and get some more water, though. I used the last of it with my last hydrate. Fuck. That was such an obvious thing as well. What's the time? I know I've just had a break, but I might go on another break. I need to feed the dog and I need to get some water. I need to feed the dog, guys. Did you can you hear him telling me I must feed him? Fuck! I thought I had it! Feed me, bear man. I'm just getting to, like, the bit where the music kicks in and everything. Good luck with going outside, Dyer. I'd say have fun, but it's never fun outside. Okay. I need 5 minutes. I need to think here. I'm tranquil, and let's get down there for this. Siriana boy doesn't have a voice. He does. He sounds like this. Ooh. What is that? That is creepy. I do not like where his hand ended up either. I'm not a fan. I am not a fan.
Well done, Nico. The bread is now mine.
I'm tranquil, and let's get down there for this. Let's give it a PP up.
Once the painting hung here again, its meaning clear, and the route to the tabula would be revealed.
Up chimney.
So, what's the answer?
Up
Where's the
chimney.
tabula?
Up
I don't
chimney.
know. The room has changed.
Up chimney.
Was there something different about the room?
Up the chimney.
Yes, I don't know.
Bad day yesterday, which is why I didn't stream. So I sat in a voice chat all day and I played Final Fantasy. See? I fixed it. Kenny's here. Look at Kenneth. Doesn't he look pretty? Kenneth Fishmaker back from his holidays. He was having a bit of a time. He just didn't want to come out last week. Last week was too much for him. Now he's back though. He's back with a vengeance. Yo, Canoodle, how's it going? Welcome back, Kenimothy. Yeah, he's back. He went on a break to practice his fish fighter skills. In time for, you know, Fish Bison to come back. But he sucks at fish fighter, so he stopped now. He stopped. He stopped and he came back. I fucked this. I fucked this up so bad. Guys, no. How do you? Come on, buddy. Oh! Guys? Guys? I'm gonna write a horror story about someone that eats so many bananas they become radiated and they become just a living banana, guys. The radio banana, active banana man with all the bananas in it, you know? Just like, see? This beast looks just like him. I never believed the stories, yet here he is. A beast that lives in a pit of garbage and hurls tomatoes. Please bet it hurls tomatoes at me. It's fine, the story surely exaggerated his strength. He threw tomatoes at me, guys. Behold the current! Here's your hydrate.
Welcome back. I've got some jobs ready for you.
Ah! I don't know. I really don't know. I was so hoping that was an ending. It was an ending? Shut up. Why have I got... Why have I got a note that says Titanic equals ship question mark? The Titanic is a ship. What the fuck was that all about? Sorry, guys. Give me a second. The thing is, Titanic equals ship would at least be an interesting thing. But the note was Titanic equals ship question mark. I believe Candle Sport that the Titanic is a ship. Oh, it was a candle note. Okay. Okay. That makes more sense. I'm trying to think of a question I want to ask about the endings. I'm going to open my curtains for a second as well. Give me a second. So, I guess my next question that I want answered is the way to get the next ending, or one of the next endings, based on a dialogue selection. Do I have to go through a certain door and choose certain dialogue? Like, is it based on a dialogue question? Or, yeah, a question in dialogue? Do I need to find the right combination of something? Not a dialogue selection, okay. Is it... Do I have to use... Is it a specific door selection? Like, do I have to get a combination of doors correct? Because I have a theory now. Now that I know that all my notes are useless. Specific doors. Okay, I have it. I have a theory. Give me a second. I'll say my answer to Q1 relates to the next ending you have to unlock. So I'm looking for a specific ending now. Is that what you're saying? Alright, door 3. The 3 equal... Let's just do number 7. 6. 3. Equal 1. Equal 1. 4. Equal 6. Equal 6 plus 1 plus 3 4 7 4 6 plus 7 plus 3 8. Plus 8. Okay. Yo, Presto, how's it going? So, I've written down... Oh, my model is not happy because I've not been looking at it. I've written down all the rooms and all the Wait, not all the combinations. So, the first room we can go through will be either 5 or 4. The second room we go through will either be 8, 7, or 3. And then the third one will be 1, 2, or 6. If we go through door 1, we go in with 1 and 4. So Ace and Clover. 2 is June, 7 and Santa. 3 is 7, June and Santa. Oh, 3 and 2 are the same. 3 and 2 are the same. Are 3 and 2 the same? Wait. I don't think we ever go through the same door. Wait. Have I written down 3 wrong? 7, June and Santa. Room 2. Why did I do room 2? It's the first one. Yeah, I've done room 2 completely wrong. Room 2 is, Room 2 is 7 and 8. Alright, yeah, I did that wrong. Never mind. A Wobbuffet? I do like Wobbuffets. Wobbuffets are cool. So, is there a path I can take where I'm with the same people? So, 5 and 4. 7... I got 4 wrong as well. Wait, what am I doing? I'm so muddled up. Oh, I think I wrote... No, that still wouldn't make sense. Let's go 2. 4. June, Lotus, and Santa. Wobbuffet counterattack. Yeah, I think that's right now. I went wildly crazy. 5, 4. So if I go 5, 2, and 7, we can't double that up. So what about room 4? 6, 8, 3. And route 2, we can't go anywhere with 6. We can't go with 8. We don't want to go through room 3 ever again. Room 3 is off the table. And so is room 2. Those 2 we don't ever have to do again, I don't think. Or at least not to get these endings that I want. Those 2 are fine. So we can't do anything with 8. So any room with 8. Oh no, if I'm going for that, like 8, no. June's definitely a no. 1 is definitely a no. Can I go through every room with... No, 7 would also be a no. Alright, that's my theory out of the window. Guys, it took 2 seconds and my theory's out the window. How about half 6? The last big thing, right, that I keep talking about is the safe. So we're going to start with room 5. That's with 7 and 2. Then we have 8 and 7. Okay, so I'd either have to go in... Oh, wait a minute. If I do 5... And then... I either have to go through 8 or 7. I'd go through 7 with 7 again, but I can't end with 7. 4 and 8. If I go through room 8... So what, that'll be 2, 7. Then room 8 would be 4 and 8. And then room 1 would be 1 and 4. Room 6 would be... Oh? 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 So initially I thought if I could go into every room with the same person, maybe that would trigger something. But then that wouldn't work because you could never do that. I don't think there's a single path where you can be with the same person in every single room. So then my next thought was, well, it's got to be something to do with the last thing that we have, which is the safe. But I still don't see anything with that. But if I go through room 5, then room 8, then room 6, I never do a room with the same person twice. So I would literally do a room with every single person at least once. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the only idea I've had. In all of this time, in this half hour we've been sat here, that's the only thing I've come up with. That's not a bad idea. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There are so many really confusing notes now. Best viewers? I already have best viewers. What are you talking about, bot? Am I thinking of it yet? Yeah, so for confirmation, we're doing room 5, then room 8, and then room 6. Because we do room 5 with Snake and 7. Then we do room 8 with Lotus and Clover. And then we'll do room 6 with Santa, June, and Ace. And then I need to go back in my notes. Which is good because it's my favorite doors to go through. Oh, I've gone past 2 now. Oh god, no. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, there we go. I'm a little on the jittery side, guys. I'm excited. I have excited energy, but I'm also very confused and not sure what I'm doing. Yeah. I need to make sure I don't mess up what room I go into next. I'm going into 5. We're going into 5, guys. Guys, what door are we going through? Please tell me. Five. We're going through 5. Five. We don't want the ship to sink. Oh, I see what you did there, you clever whale. Oh, this is so long. Be heading to the store for like 20 minutes, Jesus. Sick. I get it. That reaction, perfect. Yeah, I've been comparing them to the Ben 10 stuff. Thank you, imported. This one doesn't matter. So you get fed when Siri's on holiday. Don't worry, guys. I'm cheap enough as it is. You don't have to worry about that. This feels even longer than usual. This feels like it's taking forever this time around. It didn't feel this long last time. There's your outbreak notification. We're going through door number 5. With 7 and Snack. 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 Sneaky snake. A snooky snake. I'm gonna go and check on the safe, guys. I need to make sure the safe is still here. Just in case, you know. He's still here. Pet the safe. He's a good boy, really. He's a good safe. I always go into the toilet. I don't know why. I must see the toilet, though. Again, I must make sure the toilet is safe as well. Wait. Wait. There it is. Soggy sheep. It's, well, it could be soggy, but it's glass, so it's not gonna be paper soggy. It'll just be wet. Yo, Needles, how's it going, buddy? I did. I rebranded in the middle of the night. Alright. Everybody say goodbye to the safe. I'm gonna go say goodbye to it. One day, your content shall be mine. Yeah, I've been saying for forever that I wanted to change my, I wanted it to rebrand to Annakumaa because obviously that's the name most people use with me. But I never got around to it, and then everyone changed their names, and I felt weird about changing it. And then at 2 a.m. yesterday, I was like, fuck it. I need to do something. I'm changing my name. So it's been something I've talked about quite often. Like, genuinely, I've talked about it constantly this year. $2 a.m. today. It was 2 a.m. today. I think I was planning on doing it, and then, like, it changed his name, and then ABC changed his name, and I was like, God fucking damn it. And then on top of that, then Dyer changed his name as a joke. I was like, oh my god, no. Back to the drawing board. I'm sorry, I stole it just from you. I did a steal. I'm not really blaming you. You were just ahead of the trend, right? You were just ahead of it all. Ad time. We're not doing anything interesting. I'm just gonna get this done. We're literally skipping everything for the next couple of rooms. Or every room, I think. I don't think there's a single room we need to stop in. Just hadn't told anyone. It was honestly something I thought about last year as well. When I had the model, I really thought about changing everything and like debuting like it was a brand new thing completely. But I didn't have the balls to do it. And then I was like, I'll do it on my anniversary stream. And then everyone, as I said, changed. And I was like, I don't want to add more confusion. So then I didn't do it again. Sorry, we're on... Apparently there is one ending that I need to get before I can get the true ending. There is one ending I must get. And I've been through every door, done every puzzle. I'm just trying to get an ending. So we're just skipping everything, looking for this ending. Zero looked nerdier than you expected, really? Because he just looked like an old man. He just looked like an old man. In fact, I thought he looked a bit like the guy who was the captain of the Titanic in the movie. But, like, Japanese-ified. Alright, I need to go through door 8 next. Travis is shopping her order now. Nice, nice. Good luck, Travis. God damn. I think because I know I'm heading towards just the end, these bits are feeling longer because I know there's nothing new I want to see. Like, there's no moment that I want to, like, revisit. I just want to get to the end and see if I figured something out. This is a lot of junk food. And not the person who comes to the door. It very honestly usually isn't for me either. The laboratory. The laboratory. So we can't skip some in this. I feel like they rent them out because there's waiting list to get improved. Yeah. But there also could be, like, people who are doing it in cars. They could bring, like, a friend along. So that, they don't have to get out of the car. I feel that's sometimes what happens with me. Like, I'll see someone sat in the car waiting for them. Replace your items with items you didn't want. Does with their story structures. Oh, I could have fucking combined in there. Why didn't I combine? They're bigger, better than me. I like these kind of things, but if this shot in the dark does not work, then I'm gonna ask Void for the answer. Just got the spicy. Alright, come on. Come on. Pokemon Shield, nice. I like Sword and Shield. The fire one? I don't remember the names of them. Was it the fire one? Was that for this? That might be that for this. Result, nice. And then I'm going through door... what? Door 6. Where's my notes on door 6 there? I'm surprised you figured Squirrel Bunny first try. I don't know, there's something about you that comes over as fiery, you know? Just comes over as being a fire type. I had a Blastoise. How did I know? I know my regulars, you know? I have a good handle on my regulars. You see, I always pick Bulbasaur. I like Bulbasaur because he was just a giant dinosaur. But Squirtle was cool. You've always picked Professor. I thought Pikachu was boring. I just love Bulbasaur. Fire people here, I know, right? Played after. I like fire attacks. Sure, I'm hot-headed at times, but still. I'm aware. I had yellow. I am aware. Oh. I'm being asked a question. If I start like a cute monkey or something, and start everyone's a gorilla wearing a tuxedo with macarinas or something. The evolution of the fire ones have always drove me insane. Not Charizard. I never really got the Charizard stuff, but like the evolution of fire type Pokemon is just crazy to me. You're a grass girl. I can see you being a grass Pokemon. Like Torchic is just a little chick that it becomes a giant standing Digimon with long hair. That is true. Kaguya? Is there a reason? Typhlosion was always called. Charizard makes it. He does make sense, yeah. I just had no interest in Charizard as a kid. As I said, like, I used to love Land Before Time. Was that what it's called? The Land Before Time? Yeah. The one with the dinosaurs, right? That was it. I always liked that. And he just reminded me of a character from that. Blastoise. Yeah, I like the Squirtle evolution line. Grass Fairy now, but yeah. He involves to have guns. But guns? Oh, up here. Let's do B first. Alright, it's a good choice, but still. I always name my Pokemon after, like, Formula 1 drivers or something. Very boring like that. With that, he turned and walked away from the winch. Why did it stop me there? Jinpei and Ace followed him. You know, speaking of experiments, Santa suddenly stopped. There was this experiment some scientists did with rats. First, they took a squarish C-shaped tank and filled it with enough water that the rats could drown. The tank has two exits, A and B. Exit A is pitch black, so dark even a rat can't see anything. Exit B, however, is electrified, which means the rat can't leave through it. So what would a rat do if he was put in this situation? Which exit would the rat choose? There was a moment of silence after Santa posed the question, and then Ace responded. B, of course. The rat has no way of knowing that exit B is electrified. Exactly. The rat goes to exit B. Of course, like I said, it's electrified, which means the rat can't get out that way. But after a lot of trial and error, the rat finally finds exit A. I can't say that's very interesting or relevant. It's simply the story of a laboratory experiment. You're right, it isn't very interesting yet. Huh? These scientists repeated this experiment over and over using hundreds of different rats over several generations. This produced some surprising results. With each generation of rats, they took less time to find the correct exit. Eventually, a rat was put in the tank who instantly chose exit A without even attempting to go to exit B. But even that wasn't the most impressive thing. The same experiment was conducted in another laboratory, far from the original one with the same results. No, on second thought, the results weren't really the same. The rats in the second experiment began the trials with significantly faster times than the first rats in the initial experiment. These rats were not related to the rats used in the first experiment and had never even come in contact with them, and yet they all easily found their way to exit A as though they already knew. What did it mean? Are you suggesting something like telepathy? They were passing information to one another through some undetectable medium. Ace looked skeptical. Santa snorted at him. How the hell would I know? I'm not any kind of scientist. I don't know what made him do that. But I do know that story's true, and if you've got another explanation, I'd sure love to hear it. Come on, let's get going. There's still a lot here we haven't checked out. And we've got to get the hell out of here before June passes out. Without waiting for a response, he turned around and started walking. Junpei, however, wasn't quite ready to leave the topic alone. Hey, wait. There's something I want to ask you. Santa stopped and turned around. Why did they use the tank for the experiment, huh? Well, I mean, it seems like you could conduct the same experiment without the water. They could have just used a dry box, you know? If they needed to motivate the rats to escape, they could have, I don't know, put some bait by exit B or something. I mean, do they really have to make it so the rats can drown? Santa gave a grim bark of a laugh. You know the word emergency comes from the same root as the word is emerge. You ever think about that? Well, an emergency is something urgent, often something dangerous. And to emerge means to sort of come out or appear or rise out of something else. So what's going to emerge in an emergency? Inspiration. Inspiration? Yeah. Think about it. When the chips are down, either you crack or your mind focuses and pulls up what you need. So in an emergency, your real potential emerges. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. That's why the rats had to drown. They had to be in danger. There had to be an emergency for inspiration to emerge. Junpei suddenly felt cold. The back of his head was aching, and his stomach felt strange. Is this all gonna be a fucking experiment? There. Let's put that in here. Pick that up. Welcome back. What was this all for? Oh, yeah. What I miss? We learn about an experiment with rats. Where people try to drown rats to prove that... I don't know, they learn in generations, I guess. What am I doing? Oh, there we go. That's the button I wanted. I forgot I could click on them. This is what happens when you skip things, guys. But the fact that I got some extra dialogue makes me excited that something might happen. We didn't have parents. Here we go, more extra. They bought it in an accident when we were still kids. So I had to be like her dad. And that meant that I bought her Christmas presents every year. On Christmas Eve, I'd leave the present next to her pillow. And the next morning, she'd come running into my room with this big smile. Look, Santa left me a present. Santa got me the doll I really wanted. I'm so glad he got the letter I wrote. I was the one who told her to write those letters. I'd say, write down something you want and mail it to Santa. The address I gave her was somewhere in Northern Europe that doesn't exist. Anyway, she'd write the letter and stamp it and send it out. And then a few days later, it'll show up back in our mailbox marked, address unknown. I'd open the letters before she figured out they'd been sent back. Once I had the letter, I'd go around to a couple stores with some money I'd saved up over the year and buy her the stuff she'd asked for. It took a lot of savings, but I managed to buy her presents every year. Junpei was silent. He could think of nothing to say. June looked down, uncomfortable. The wall next to him suddenly groaned. Either he hadn't heard the sound or didn't care. Santa kept talking. For one year, her letter was different. She didn't write a list of toys she wanted or anything like that. Instead, it said, I don't want any presents this year. Instead, I want you to make my wish come true. My wish is that we'll be happy like this for a really, really long time. But I couldn't make that wish come true. Some Santa I am. Santa looked sad. Junpei had never seen him look sad before. He wasn't sure he liked it. Junpei decided it was probably best not to ask Santa any more questions, but... what happened? June glanced up at Santa quickly as she spoke. He answered, but only with an effort. He died. He was killed 9 years ago. There was nothing Junpei could say. His heart felt like a great lump of lead. June bit her lip and looked away. Her face was pale. Alright, let's go. Santa stood up slowly. There we go. So I did think when we did this one, that the kid that died might have been Santa's sister. Because we know one of the girls died, or one of the kids died. We didn't know a girl had died. And I don't know if we knew a girl had died. But we knew a kid had died in the, in the experiments. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7. 8. Was there any upstairs? Oh. What did I miss? Okay. Okay, and there was one in the box. Just then, Junpei heard a noise. He spun around just in time to see June collapse in front of the fence. June, are you okay? She did not respond. Junpei spun back around to face Ace. I'm sorry, I've got to go check on her. You do the box thing, alright? Just put the cards in the boxes. I'm counting on you. He shoved the cards into Ace's hands and ran off toward June. Are you alright? What happened? Junpei called out to her as he ran. As he arrived, June was climbing to her feet with Santa's help. I'm sorry. I'm fine. I just tripped. Don't give me that. Now's not the time. But it's true. I tripped over a box. Junpei put his palm on her forehead. Her temperature was much the same as it had been the last time he checked. She wasn't hot like she'd been before, but she was still warm. Her fever wasn't completely gone. I saw her fall. I think she really did just trip on something, you know? Junpei would have been more willing to agree if June hadn't needed quite so much help standing up. Thank you for the hydrate, Leo. How is reorganizing going? Still, to fall down like that, I think she's probably still a little messed up. June was doing her best to busy herself, brushing dust off her dress. Her smile looked a little embarrassed, and her face was a bit flushed, but she did look a great deal better than she had. Almost done nice, still. Alright, well, let's get out of here as fast as we can, so we can get you to a hospital. Oh, I don't think it's anything that serious. But that's for tomorrow. I just needed a little medicine and some sleep, and I'll be fine. Medicine? Medicine, huh? Well, if we could get in touch with anyone outside, I'll bet Ace could swing that for you. Easy. Ace? Why? Huh? Don't you know? He's the president of a pharmaceutical company. Cradle Pharmaceuticals is the name, I think. Oh! 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 Ace is evil. And set up my kids? What do you mean, set up your kids? What does setting up your kids mean? Ah, okay. Okay, I understand now. Are we gonna get some cool pictures of your mechs when you've done it? Though, if you're going for your shower, go for your shower. Don't answer my stupid questions. Their flagship product is an anesthetic drug called Saporial. Saporial? Junpei couldn't shake the feeling that he'd heard about Saporial before. Santa continued. Also, happy birthday. It's not my birthday. My birthday is long gone now. Saporial. Saporial is an anesthetic that is gaseous at room temperature, similar to nitrous oxide. It takes only a few seconds to spread, and even a small amount is very effective. For these reasons, it found widespread acceptance with police and military forces in numerous countries. It was an effective crowd suppressant and room clearer, and is practical and ethical and humane. Oh, is it Dante's birthday, is it? Oh, well, I hope he has all of the porn he could ever want. Happy birthday, new name. You have been reborn today. True. True. That is true. Developed 6 years prior, it was made from the extracts of several different roots. It became popular almost as soon as it was made public, with many governments placing large orders. Demand for Saporial skyrocketed, and as it did, so did the stock of Cradle Pharmaceuticals. Why did you know all this? Santa's information was interesting, but Junpei couldn't help but feel a little suspicious. Santa's reply was blunt and simple. I heard it from the old man himself. From Ace? When? By the number 4 door at the central stairway, when we were searching the second classroom. Remember how Snake 7 and you went to door 5? I asked him what he did for a living, and he said he ran his own company. After that, we just started talking, and I guess it just came up, you know. Also, I've got to be pedantic about the conversation about the melting boiling points of materials. That is not true, as they depend on the pressure the liquid or gas is in. Oh, I didn't know that either. Are you worried? Like, math sticks with me because you always have to do math. I don't think of science ever in my life, so it's been a very long time. Date of birth, August 3rd, 1989. Yes. Well, no one even knows the 89 anymore. We got rid of the 89, guys. Are you worried about something? No, nothing. As he spoke, Junpei looked over towards Ace. He seemed to be having difficulty with the 9 boxes. What the hell was he doing? He turned back to June and Santa. June, don't push yourself, alright? Yes. Santa, could you take care of her? Sure. He gave them both a short nod, then turned and headed towards Ace. What are you doing? Ace's back was to him as Junpei approached. The older man turned around to look at him. His face was pale and covered in sweat. What happened? Nothing. My vision has gotten rather blurry. I think perhaps because of fatigue. I can't see very well at the moment. What can't you see well? These pictures. Ace held the cards out to Junpei, splayed out in the shape of a fan. I don't care to admit it, but I may be developing presbyopia. Growing old is a difficult thing. He made the best attempt he could at yes, smile, but his face was flushed and his lips were pale and drawn. At any rate, I'll leave the rest to you. I'm feeling awfully tired, so if you don't mind, I'd like to rest for a bit. He shoved the cards into Junpei's hands and walked quickly away. Junpei looked at him quizzically. How could simply looking at cards have tired him out? Oh, does he have the face blindness? Junpei looked down at the cards in his hands. All of the pictures were quite clear and each person easily recognizable. Was Ace's vision truly so bad? But if it wasn't what had made him so uncomfortable, that was when Junpei remembered what he'd heard from Lotus much earlier. Prosopagnosia. Well, put simply, it means a condition where the mind can't distinguish between human faces. In other words, my face would look the same as Clover's or even yours. They can't remember faces, which is how most people recognize each other. That means that people with prosopagnosia have trouble recognizing even people. Kinda made Date was also born. Wait! Was he actually born in 1989? Wait. 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 There's no dates day, Isomnium. I don't believe that he was born in 1989. Shit, there is a date. It's right there. August 3rd, 1989. No. Ah. Well, I'm guessing, like, we're talking about Date, so it would be the actual... Oh, God, that's too confusing. That's too confusing. It's just Date, Leo. It's just Date. You know that. So you mean I'm a couple months older than Date is? Or I could just share his birthday now. Have trouble recognizing even people they're close to. Maybe he's got a prosopagnosia. Junpei took another look at Ace. He sat at the base of the stairs, looking quite depressed. It was reasonable, of course, that he'd feel that way. If he really did have prosopagnosia, there was no doubt it was a depressing and painful experience. Still, Junpei didn't feel like patting him on the shoulder and telling him everything would be alright. Still, Junpei didn't feel like patting him on the shoulder and telling him everything would be alright would help that much. Still, Junpei felt perhaps it was best to keep Ace's condition to himself, at least for the time being. Oh well. Doing his best to clear his mind for the task at hand, he turned back toward the boxes. It was time to solve the puzzle of the 9 boxes. Thank you. Alright, the question is, how well was my... Well, my notes for this. Wait a minute, I've got a message as well. Oh no, I didn't mess up. I am getting my payout from 4-4. So, 2, 4, 6, 3, 5, 7, 1, 2, 7, No. I need to fucking sort these out. Put something towards the tape measure. Fuck you. And then this one. There we go. Then this is... There we go. Oh shit! Then we got the other bit that I did not write this down. Okay. That was instantly wrong. No, this is way too many moves. Fuck my life, why do I keep doing that? No, I've just done the same thing. That still would be too many. What am I doing? God damn. Ah, so close. Don't kick me out, just reset it. Remember when I struggled with this and then I went to the toilet and did it in like one go when I come back? I'll get ready for that to happen again. There we go. Still not gonna write it down. A gun! What's the door going through? Is it this one? Oh, yeah. I don't know how this is gonna change. You're good, yeah. It's all about, like, not wasting a space, right? But, like, or not a space to move. It's very easy to, like, waste a move by accident. Junpei and June ran to the large hospital room together. As quickly as they could, they searched around and under the beds in the corners. She's not here. No, she isn't. Alright, just in case, we should go take a look in the shower room. The shower room? That's where her brother is. She might have gone to see him. June bit her lip. She knew as Junpei did that there was only one thing to see in the shower room and it wasn't pleasant. Well, we might as well check, right? Let's go. There was a screwdriver stuck between the door and the frame. Junpei and June slipped through the door, moved down the hallway, and stepped into the shower room. Wait. Why did this change? I don't get why this bit changed. Why are we doing something different here? I don't really understand this bit. Yeah, but I don't understand why we've changed what we're doing here. Like, I feel... Because you can't skip anything new. I can't remember why we split up the last time. But there's no reason why we haven't split up now or why we're coming in here. I don't really get that. That doesn't make sense. No luck. Yeah, I don't think she's here. June's voice was faint, and she placed her hands over her mouth. Her face looked a little green. The stench in the room was almost unbearable. It had grown far more unpleasant since her last visit. If Junpei had eaten her lunch, he would have difficulty retaining it. He wanted to leave the room as soon as possible, but he had to be sure, and the only way to be sure was to check the other side of the divider. Wait here. June offered no resistance and nodded weakly to Junpei as he headed around the divider. He stopped at the corner and turned his head. As he'd expected, Clover was nowhere to be seen. The only thing on the other side of the divider was a dead body lying in a reddish-brown puddle of dry and drying blood. There are many ways a man can die, but this... The skull was shattered and the head little more than a pulpy mass of brain, bone, and viscera. The left arm was hideously twisted into a horrific alien shape. The bright white of their ulnas shining through the remains of skin and muscle. We'll explain in a bit. Huh? Wait. Bright white. I mean, I get it, I guess. Like, I don't really know what the setup is meant to be that we went back, but I get that I obviously hadn't talked to her about the fake arm. So this is like, you can open this by knowing about the fake arm, right? But like, when we did door 6 before, we split up. And there's not really been an explanation for why we haven't split up. And I mean me and not everyone else. I mean me and June. And I get that in-game it's because I clicked the right dialogue options and went to the right places. I get that. But that usually when the path divides, it's because there's an extra bit of dialogue that's like, oh, instead of doing this, we're going to do this. And in this case, there hasn't been that. We've gone from, like, doing one thing to doing something completely different just because we heard something else and the game had to shove me in that direction. Unless we came in here and I forgot, but I don't remember coming in here last time. Bright white, owner, bones, bones. The pieces fell into place. Junpei remembered something Clover had told him in the laboratory. My brother's left arm is, it's not like a normal person's arm. Also, guys, by the way, fucking called it as a clue. I've been whining about this arm since the first fucking day. Well, not actually, because I noticed this later on. No, it was the first day. Yeah. Called it. My brother's left arm is, it's not like a normal person's arm. The accident hurt him really bad. To save him, they had to cut off his arm. Of course. Why hadn't he realized it earlier? Clover had told Junpei that Snake's left arm was prosthetic, but the left arm of the corpse behind the divider was quite clearly a real human arm, or at least it had been once. That meant the corpse. I might have mentioned it on day one. Junpei and June headed back toward the large hospital room. They stepped through the door and out of the shower room. Down the hallway they went, searching for Clover in every corner. They had reached the stairs when Seven appeared, breathless and yelling. Junpei, June, where were you guys? He looked pale and his face was drawn. Something terrible had happened. Junpei's breath caught in his throat. Did something happen? Seven drew a shaking hand across his face and gulped down a breath of air. Clover is dead. I found her in the first-class bathroom. And then yelled at me and see, I did. I'm not gonna pan. All sound ceased for Junpei. The world was an empty, muffled expanse. Then he began to hear his own breathing. June's mouth moved, but he heard nothing. She tried once more, and then her energy was gone, and she collapsed against the wall. He could have helped her, but he hadn't, and now she was dead. So he stood there, frozen in place. Clover, why? Why had this happened? He forced his body to move. Each step felt like another nail pounded into his heart. Finally, he was in front of her. He knelt and placed 3 fingers against Clover's neck. No pulse, no breath, but she was still warm and her eyes were closed peacefully. It would have been easy to think she was asleep. Easy, that is, were it not for the slowly expanding puddle of blood beneath her. He traced its source to her back, a gash just beneath her shoulder blade. Was the weapon a knife, perhaps? If it was a knife, the killer had taken it when they left. When he closed his eyes, he saw Clover's smile. Her innocent smile, her energy. He would never see her smile again. He could have done something. He could have helped her. His stomach twisted itself into a sickening knot. Junpei lifted a limp June from the floor and carried it from the bathroom. Are you alright? It was a foolish question and he knew it. Yes, I think so. Her voice was weak. The fever had gone down, but the emotional scars he'd received were not likely to recede as quickly. Junpei laid his hand on her shoulder and they walked back to the bedroom. You should get some rest. He lowered June until she was sitting against the bed. She nodded once and stared at the floor. There were 4 others in the room. Ace, Lotus, Santa, and Seven. They all stared at nothing, their faces drawn and tired. After a while, they drifted into the bathroom to see Clover's corpse themselves. Once everyone was back in the bedroom, Junpei walked slowly to the center of it and looked around as the slumped figures gathered there. Who was the first to find the body? Me. Seven spoke from behind Junpei. He turned around. Seven's hand was up. Why'd you come to this room? To look for Clover. Why else? I found her body in the bathroom. As soon as I did, I ran outside. I got to the top of the stairs by the casino and yelled as loud as I could. Hey guys, I found her, but it's bad. She's in the bathroom in the first-class cabin. Come quick. Or something like that. Then I went back to the bathroom. Ace, Santa, and Lotus showed up real soon after that, but I guess you two hadn't heard me or something because you didn't show. So I took off down the stairs to look for you. After that, I mean, you know the rest, right? Junpei nodded and closed his eyes. There was one more thing he needed to ask. 7, there's one more thing I'm worried about. What's that? When we finished all the puzzles in this room and got the door open, you stuck one of those plates in between the door and the frame, right? Why'd you do that? Come on, didn't I already tell you? I did it so that the door wouldn't lock, so we could come back to this room. Oh, you think I did it? But I don't know. That kind of depends on what you say, doesn't it? 7 sighed and shook his head. Follow me. It's gonna be the safe! There were 2 doors standing next to one another. He opened the one on the right. Behind the door was a closet. 7 stepped inside. He stood in front of one of the shelves that filled it and gestured towards a small box. The box was a small metal cube. He looked at Junpei. This is the reason. This safe. We couldn't open it when we were getting through this room. I figured there might be something pretty important in it. I couldn't stop thinking about it. Besides, I figured eventually we might figure out what the numbers are for the safe. And if we did, I didn't want to screw around with door 5 again. So I put that plate in the exit door so we could get back in that way. And inside the closet, still Shin rearranging his stuff. I would just love that. You know, we like walk in and you see the closet and then suddenly just Shin's PNGs there like messing around with boxes and Gunpla. So I put that plate in the exit door so we could get back in that way. You get it now? Junpei nodded and looked at the safe. He grabbed the handle and shook it. Nothing happened. It was as locked as it had been when 7 found it. There was one change, however. Just underneath the safe was a pile of fine reddish-brown powder, rust. Junpei stared at it for a moment. Had someone opened the safe, dislodging the rust? Junpei left the closet. 7 followed him back to the bedroom. It was cold and quiet. No one spoke. They sat, frozen in place by shock and grief and fatigue. The room felt tiny and oppressive, and the thick metallic smell of blood filled the room. Junpei turned and headed for the living room. Anything to get out of there. Was there some other clue, perhaps? Anything that might lead them to whoever had stabbed Clover? He took his time and examined the room carefully. His eyes caught on the door. The door that led to the passageway of door number 5. Behind that door was the dead body of the 9th man. Maybe he should have another look at it, just in case. Quietly, he pushed open the door. The smell hit him like a blow to the face. His lungs contracted, unwilling to inhale such fetid air. Acid poured up from the base of his stomach, churning what little food was there into a violent froth. It was too much for him, and he vomited. A thin stream of yellow water and bile splattered onto the floor. He wiped his mouth weakly and stared at the dead body. Chunks of torn flesh lay in an arc around his body. What remained of his intestines had slid out onto the floor. The pool of blood that framed it was half dry, but so thick that it had taken on a texture not unlike that of an egg yolk, prepared sunny side up. On the floor next to the broken mask of the man's head lay his glasses, cracks, but the bracelet's gone though, guys. The bracelet has gone. Lay his glasses, cracks spidering across the lenses. The bloodstains near them had already dried like scabs on the floor. That was when he noticed. It's gone. His bracelet. It's gone. It had been there when Junpei had gone through door 5 before. He was sure of it, right next to the glasses. But now... it was gone. The number 9 bracelet was gone. But why? Had someone taken it? He was turning it over and over in his mind when he heard 7's voice. Huh? Where'd Junpei go? It had drifted out to him from the living room. Junpei walked slowly out of the hallway. Oh, there you are. Were you looking for something in the hallway? 7 looked up as Junpei entered the room. Did you find something? He thought for a moment before he responded. No, nothing. Technically, it wasn't a lie. He hadn't found anything. In a way, in fact, that was the problem. Something he'd expected to find hadn't been there. The 9th man's bracelet. What's up? Well, I wanted you to look at something. What is it? 7 led Junpei back to the bathroom. As Clover's corpse came into view, he felt his heart flip and then fall to the bottom of his stomach. Something between a sigh and a groan escaped his lips. What was it you wanted to show me? His voice was hollow and empty. I searched Clover's body again. I found this. As he spoke, he moved around Clover's head. Then he knelt down and flipped open her right hand. What? She was holding a piece of paper. I haven't actually looked at it yet. Didn't want to disturb the crime scene, you know? Basic stuff. Well, I did borrow one thing. He wasn't sure what that meant, but it likely didn't matter. The paper was more important. He picked it up and carefully opened it. There were 2 sentences written on it. Truth had gone, and truth had gone. And now truth is asleep in the darkness of the sinister hand. What is this? Some kind of secret code? Sauna time? Have a good sauna time, my friend. Seven peered over Junpei's shoulder at the note. Junpei stepped away from Clover's body and into the living room. He began to pace, attempting to decode the note. The first clue was likely the phrase sinister hand. Sinister hand means... Okay, I'm gonna ask this and I do want an answer to this. Does what I pick now matter? Thank you, thank you. Yes, okay. Second question, do I have to choose the right and the wrong answer to get endings? Or do I have to pick the right answer? In other words, would it matter if I save stated and if I got the wrong answer, I could just come back? Or would I have to do this all again on purpose? Unless you're left-handed, then that one is very sinister. Pick correctly to get through. Okay, Part of me wants to go left because Snake, he was dead. He didn't have a left arm, right? You think you know the answer to this? Sinister hands. I think. Go on, tell me what you think, fictional Avia. Because I'm not really sure. I've got the Snake thing going on, like Snake's left arm was fake. No, that's fair, Warted. The reason I don't mind Avia or even ABC giving me an opinion is because they don't know the actual answer, right? Like, they genuinely don't know the right answer one way or the other. So, like, whatever they're saying is a guess. I would never ask you or put you in the position to give me a... to give me a clue for something like this. Which is why I said, you know, Avia I don't mind hearing, ABC I don't mind. I think it's a left because I think certain languages refer to it as something sinister, and I'm avoiding spoilers for the game too. You see, that makes sense as well, because obviously when people used to be left-handed, right, they were like, especially if they were in Catholic school, they'd be beaten and made to learn to write right-handed. Because my mum was left-handed, but the nuns beat her until she wrote with her left hand or right hand. So, like, that makes sense. And it would also make sense if Snake is actually Snake. And Clover gave us the clue. And she mentioned that he had a fake left arm, but he didn't have a fake left arm. that was just like a very vague clue towards this sinister hand thing, right? Then the left hand would make sense. I've done a save state because if we've got it wrong, we can always come back and redo this. And the left eye was worded kind of like it was bad. Yeah, now you've said that, like, as I said, like, with the, what do you call it, with the nuns and stuff, left stuff seems to be the devil side in Catholicism, I guess. But we're gonna go left. And then, if this is wrong, I've got a save state so we can go back. Which I'm so happy that save states. Sinister was a term used in heraldry that means to the left of the bearer of a coat of arms. There we go! There we go! To the left of the bearer of a coat of arms. The left hand, the left hand. What did the left hand mean? Junpei looked at his own left arm. And the bracelet on his wrist. Did the darkness of the sinister hand have something to do with the bracelet? He examined the bracelet closely. There were two protrusions from either side of the face. The left and right sides of the face. Left and right. Left and right. Right and left. Truth is gone. Truth. Gone. It sounded funny. What did it mean? Truth. Gone. Maybe those two words. What else could they mean? What else could gone and truth mean? Truth, of course, meant something that was correct, something that was fact. In other words, something that was right. It would follow that gone meant left. After all, after someone left, they were gone. In this case, however, they clearly referred to their directional homonyms. So that means truth equal right, gone equal left. That seemed to make sense. Junpei looked at the bracelet again. At the two protrusions on the left and right of the face, Junpei pressed them in the following order. Oh, fuck! What did the note say? We don't save it. Truth had gone, truth had gone, truth had gone, and truth was asleep in his hand. So... Truth had gone, truth had gone, truth had gone. Oh, yeah, alright, yeah, no, it makes sense, because this is the only one that has, like, a right, left, right, left, right, left. Oh. To be honest, if I actually looked at this instead of just panic that I forgot what order it was, it's very obvious that it's got to be this one, right? Right, left, right, left, right, left. This isn't Konami. ABC. And then... one after another, 8 numbers flashed on then off of the face of Junpei's bracelet. He checked one more time to be sure. You sure? Maybe not. 1, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1. I want to write that down. Even though I feel that's going to be, like, we're just going to do that anyway. I'm writing that down. Three, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1. I'm not sure of anything anymore, Warted. Huh? Hey, what are those numbers? Junpei didn't answer. He couldn't answer. He had no idea what they were. Besides, he was sure he would forget the numbers in the order they came if he said anything. 1, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1. Muttering the numbers to himself over and over, Junpei headed toward the bedroom. 1, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1. 1, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1. 14383421. 14383421. Before long, he found himself in front of the safe again. Its lock was the only device he could think of that required a set sequence of numbers such as the ones he just discovered. Besides, someone had opened the safe at least once already, and Clover had come to the bedroom to open it. 14383421. Junpei slowly dialed in the numbers the bracelet had given him. 1 to the right, 4 to the left, 3 to the right, 8 to the left, 3 to the right, 4 to the left, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Finished. Junpei heard the small telltale sound of a lock opening. He grabbed the handle, took a deep breath, and pulled it up. Inside was a piece of paper. It was roughly the same size as the one Clover had been holding. Junpei picked it up. This is what it said. Fact number 1. The nonary game was played once before 9 years ago. Fact number 2. The person with the number 2 bracelet attended the game 9 years ago. Oh! Give me a second. Fact number 3. It was planned by the following 4 people. Cradle Pharmaceuticals CEO Gentaro Honogu. Let me just write these names down. Cradle Pharmaceutical Chief of Staff Nagisa Nijiska. Oh, I spelled chief wrong. Chief of Staff. Cradle Pharmaceuticals R&D Supervisor Haruko Kabuta. Haruki Kabuta. Kabuta. R&D. And the last one. Majority shareholder in Cradle Pharmaceutical. Kagachika Mushishidao. Alright. That's the name. I must punish them for the innocent lives they sacrificed. This is the only warning they will receive. That innocent souls might be saved. I now state the truth. 0. Junpei left the closet. There were 5 people waiting for him in the bedroom. Ace, Lotus, Santa, 7, and June. He looked at each one of them in turn, then slowly placed his hands in the pockets of his vest. Sorry, but do you think you could all come with me? come with you. I want all of you to go to the big hospital room. Why? There's something I want to be sure of. What do you want to be sure of? I want to know if the person I suspect is really the culprit. Wait, then you're saying... Yeah, I think I've got it figured out. I know who killed Snake and Clover. The atmosphere in the room changed. Grief was suddenly gone, replaced by attention like a strap of leather stretched to its limit. 5 sets of eyes stared at Junpei. He pretended not to notice. Anyway, if you could all please move to the big hospital room, I'll explain everything as soon as we get there. Then almost as if on cue, the bell began to ring. They all heard it. It was the bell from the clock in the main staircase. The bell rang 5 times, then ceased. It was 5 o'clock. They had only an hour left. We don't have a lot of time left. Let's go. Slowly, one by one, they followed Junpei out of the bedroom. Let me put my notes there. Actually, before we get started, I was hoping you could do something for me. Junpei stopped in front of door 3 and turned around. A7 and Lotus, could you please place your palms in the red? Huh? Why? If we need to get to the shower room, why don't we just... No, we're not going inside. Once you've authenticated, step away from the door. Why? Please just do it. Or perhaps you don't want to know who killed Snake and Clover. Junpei's implication was clear, and 7 understood perfectly. Ugh, fine. What about you, Ace? Lotus? Very well, sure. I can't even say that, Morted. I can't even say it. Accusatorium, there we go. I stepped back for a second. Quickly, they pressed their palms out onto the red. Once they had finished, they stepped away from the door as Junpei had instructed. 3 asterisks shone from the red's display panel. Junpei approached it and held his bracelet over the scanner. He made quite sure he didn't place his palm on it and instead only brought his bracelet near it. The 4th asterisk appeared. Just as Junpei had expected, it was possible to authenticate without placing one's palm on the red, so long as the bracelet was brought near it. Junpei pulled the lever down. Door 3 opened like a hungry mouth. 9 long seconds passed. And the door shut, unfed. Junpei walked slowly back to the others, who were waiting some distance from the door, talking to one another. Santa and June had joined them as well. It looked as though they hadn't found a chance to break into the conversation yet. As Junpei approached, they turned to look at him, curiosity playing on their faces. Before long, the other 3 did as well. Clearly, they were all expecting some answers. Thanks. I appreciate your cooperation. Clearly, they'd hoped for something more forthcoming. He continued. By the way, Ace, would you mind if I asked you something? What is it? Do you know who I am? What? What kind of question? Just answer it, please. Who am I? You're Junpei. Of course, who else would you be? Unfortunately, that's the wrong answer. Actually, I'm Santa. What? Ace's voice was full of surprise, but it was also tinged with confusion and fear. The wife and you are home? Welcome home, Dogma. I hope you had a good day. Everyone else looked nearly as surprised. Santa looked especially shocked to discover he was actually someone else. If he spoke, however, the trap would be exposed. Junpei quickly continued. The clothes I'm wearing I borrowed for Junpei, and the clothes he's wearing are mine. We had a little swap. That's ridiculous. Impossible. You're saying I'm not Santa? Of course you aren't. Why? What makes you so sure I'm not Santa? If you were Santa, then door 3 wouldn't have opened for him just now. 1 plus 7 plus 8 plus 3 equal 19. 1 plus 9 would be 10. The digital root would be 1. For the 4 of us just opened door 3. You can't possibly be Santa. Your bracelet number isn't 3. It's 5. It's 5, right? Only then, when it was too late, did Ace realize his mistake. He set his jaw and glared at Junpei. You're exactly right. My bracelet number is 5. As he spoke, Junpei lifted his wrist up to show everyone the bright red 5 on his wrist. Sorry, Ace, I tricked you. Oh, that sounds amazing, Dogma. I'm happy that you had a good time. I'm happy. You're here in time for for actual answers. We're getting some answers. Of course, I'm not really Santa. I'm Junpei. Who could possibly think I was? It's obvious I'm not. To think I was ridiculous. But I guess you couldn't see just how obvious it was. I asked you before, didn't I? What makes you so sure I'm not Santa? And you answered, if you were Santa, then door 3 wouldn't have opened for us just now. Most people wouldn't say something like that. As the justification for why I'm not Santa, I mean. The first thing that would come to anyone's mind wouldn't be the bracelet number. It'd only be one thing they'd say. One sentence. You don't have his face. Ace, you have prosopagnosia, am I right? Junpei's voice was quiet and calm. He knew the truth, so did Ace. He could hear a sudden buzz of conversation from the others. Prosopagnosia, what's that? He heard Lotus begin to explain it to them. Ace glanced at them, then turned back toward Junpei and sighed. Ah, very well. I confess, I have prosopagnosia. I cannot differentiate human faces. Is that what this is about? You want to mock me for my disorder? No, not at all. I'm not making fun of you at all. In fact, I feel kind of bad for you. No, the reason I brought this up is that there's an excellent chance the person who killed Snake has prosopagnosia. Ace's face tightened, his eyes narrowed. What do you mean? Junpei leaned casually against the iron piping of one of the beds. I'll just come right out with it. I think it was you, Ace. You killed him. Junpei was suddenly very aware of 5 pairs of eyes on him. He had their undivided attention now. The room had grown very, very quiet. Junpei took a deep breath. That's ridiculous. What possible evidence do you... I have 3 pieces of evidence. The first, think back to a few hours ago. You made us argue over the 3 doors here in the big hospital room. There was no way all 7 people could go through them. Lotus suggested that we sacrifice one of us. Lotus looked away awkwardly. Junpei glanced at her and continued. Then Yue said, I'll stay here. Why would you say something like that? It's pretty simple, really. Answers? There will be answers. The juiciest part, even. I was going to say, I don't think it's the justice part, but I was reading wrong. Yeah, I don't want to make fun of you, but you're the murderer. You did it. You didn't want us to see the dead body in the shower room. You see, if Ace stayed behind, there were only 2 doors the rest of us could go through. Doors 7 and 8. There was no way we could get through door 3, the shower room. You knew that, didn't you, Ace? That's why you volunteered to stay behind. Come on now, I think that's going a bit far. I can understand if you're jealous of my bravery, but please don't devalue my actions. I only wanted to save the rest of you. Surely you can understand my altruism. Altruism, huh? Junpei stared off into the darkness at something very interesting and lazily began to dig a persistent bit of wax out of his ear. You already knew, didn't you? You knew that whichever doors we took, eventually we'd end up back in the big hospital room. What on earth are you saying? Of course I didn't know that. How could I have? Really? Yes. Pleading was not something they'd heard from Ace before. Junpei pulled the piece of wax from his ear, glanced at it, and flicked it off into the darkness. Ah, well, that's cool. I've still got 2 more pieces of evidence that say you're the killer. The second is that, as I said earlier, you have prosopagnosia. Then you mean to imply that a person who can't distinguish human faces must be a bad person? Junpei, they call that prejudice. No, I'm not that stupid. Then why? Well, before I explain, I suppose there's something I should tell you. The corpse in the shower room, it's not Snake's. What? Ace's face went pale. The others looked confused as well. If the body wasn't Snake's. I didn't put it together right away, but there was something Clover told me. She said that Snake's left arm was prosthetic. He'd lost his real arm in an accident. But the body we saw in the shower room, let's call him Guy X. Guy X's left arm was definitely flesh and blood. In other words, Guy X couldn't possibly have been Snake. Oh god, no, that's impossible. Ace had started muttering deliriously to himself, shaking his head back and forth. Junpei was long past caring. Let's say hypothetically that the killer didn't have prosopagnosia. If that were the case, he would immediately recognize that Guy X wasn't Snake. Even if the clothes were the same as Snake's, their faces would be completely different. It would have been obvious they were different people. And yet, they still killed him. Why? Why would they kill a stranger who'd only just shown up? On the other hand, if the killer did have prosopagnosia, it makes sense. They thought Guy X was Snake and killed him. Wait just a moment. Let's say you're right and I mistook Guy X for Snake. Even if I did, I would have no motive to kill him. Why would I want to kill Snake? I can think of at least 2 motives. 1, Snake knew about your past. If he ever revealed what he knew that would have been really bad for you. You really didn't want that to happen. So to make sure Snake's mouth stayed shut, you killed him. 2, Snake had a grudge against you. You knew that, or at least you could have easily assumed he did. Even without exposing your identity, he was a threat to you. You never knew when you might be attacked. You couldn't ever let your guard down. Every moment was a moment he might try something. Lights catnip contemplation, slides Anna and ramen ball and a few tempura. Oh, I could go for ramen and tempura. I haven't had tempura in ages. You didn't want that kind of danger hanging over you, so you... Hey, hold on a minute. For the first time since the beginning of Junpei's explanation, someone beside Ace spoke. What's the past that Ace wouldn't want us to know? Why did Snake have a grudge against him? Look at this. He handed Santa a small piece of paper. Santa squinted at the paper and began to read. The nonary game was played once before 9 years ago. The person with the number 2 bracelet attended the game 9 years ago. It was planned by the following 4 people. Cradle Pharmaceutical CEO Gentaro Hongo. What? Is this... Slowly, Santa looked up from the paper. His eyes met Junpei's. It's a message from Zero. It was in the safe in the first-class cabin. Then suddenly... Give me a break. Ace's face was red and shaking, and his voice was full of fury, tinged with desperation. That paper is a lie. Someone is trying to frame me. Me? You said me, right? Junpei's eyes narrowed, and the trap began to close. Ace inhaled sharply. His eyes flickered off of Junpei to something, anything else. Wouldn't that mean you're admitting you're Hongo, the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceutical? Or am I mistaken? It was as though a switch had been flipped. The color drained from Ace's face, and as he realized what he'd done, his eyes went wide. Very well, I admit that much. I am certainly the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceutical, Gentaro Hongo. So what if I am? I don't know anything about this nonary game that supposedly took place 9 years ago. Everything on that scrap of paper is bullshit. Someone is trying to set me up, you see? First of all, Ace stammered as he tried desperately to work himself to a more tenable position. Junpei, you're claiming I did all this by myself. Think that over, alright? How could I have killed Snake all by myself? Not Snake. It was Guy X. I don't care who it was. You said the killer put this other man into door 3, right? Yeah, maybe. Then I couldn't have possibly done that alone. I couldn't have opened door 3 with only myself and Guy X. Nope, you could have. Huh? What? Ace's face was tight and his teeth were clenched. Junpei fixed him with a level stare. The trap was about to close. Actually, Ace, when you were unconscious, I took something from you. Remember when you were injected with that anesthetic and fell asleep in the big hospital room? Yeah, back then. I took this. Junpei put his hand into his pocket. No, you couldn't have. Ace's right hand moved. Junpei smiled. I got you, Ace. Your right hand there tells me all I need to know. You want to tell me what you were so worried about? What's in your pocket? It's the number 9 bracelet, isn't it? Ace, Guy X and the ninth man's bracelet. That was all you needed to open door 3. 1 plus 2 plus 9 equal 12. 1 plus 2 equal 3. Oh, we found Zero. We found the Zero bracelet. We found Zero. He was the captain and he is dead. But we don't actually know who Zero is yet. We don't know who the person who's done everything is yet. But we have found the Zero bracelet. That person is long dead. That's how you killed Guy X all by yourself, Ace. All you needed was the number 9 bracelet in your chest pocket. Had I figured that out? I don't think I figured that out. I was close, though, to that. Like, I was close to figuring that one out myself. But I was going down the wrong path with the stuff. That was something I haven't figured out. But I did realize that Ace was sus. Ace lowered his hand from where it stopped, halfway to his pocket. He looked down at the floor, his face hidden from Junpei. Though that is very cheap, and I'm gonna say that is poorly written. Because those bracelets are gonna weigh at least something. And all of that happened a while back, and Ace would have definitely been able to check that it was in his pocket. You know? Like, maybe having said, I looked in your pocket and saw you had it, would have been something to say. But to say, I took it from you, right? It should have been very obvious to him that he had something in that pocket, right? I'm not buying that. I feel like that was possible. Well, it wasn't translated poorly because that would have matched the thing. I feel that was a poor explanation to it. Plays Among Us music. He looked down at the floor, his face hidden from Jinpai. All he could see was the corner of Ace's mouth twitching like a dying fish. If you want to play innocent, that's fine by me. Go ahead, tell me. I don't have the bracelet, if that's what you want to do. But if you could take off your coat and hand it to me, I would really appreciate it. Otherwise, we'll have to take it from you by force. Right, Seven? Yeah, it'd be my pleasure. Seven cracked his knuckles with a sound like gunfire. Yeah. Ace roared with laughter. He threw his arms wide and his head back and laughed, filling the room with a sound that scarcely belonged there. Then it stopped. His arms came down and his head dropped to look straight ahead at Jinpai. Oh no, cue the evil guy laughter, exactly. His face was flat and cold, devoid of any emotion. Well done, Jinpai. As you so correctly deduced, I have the number 9 bracelet. I retrieved it while we were searching for the missing hardware for the red. I left the room I was supposed to search and headed to the first-class cabin on B deck. His voice showed no emotion, no sense of remorse or interest. It was almost bored, as though he were reciting an especially dull corporate letter. My purpose was to obtain the number 9 bracelet. 9 is a potent ally in the nonary game. Adding 9 to any set of numbers won't alter the digital root. 1 plus 9 equals 10. 1 plus 0 equals 1. Oh, it really won't. No, that's actually quite cool. I never even thought of that. That's really cool. Kick him in the crazy. To be fair, Dogma, they've got less than an hour left to live. So if they can't get out of the doors in an hour, they're dead anyway. As you can see, 9 is a very useful number here. With it, one can go anywhere with anyone, so I made for the first-class cabin to obtain it. Ace successfully acquired the number 9 bracelet. He also found an unexpected bonus, the knife the 9th man had been holding. He slipped both of them into his chest pocket and left as quickly as he'd come. And there, right there, to get the knife out to kill Clover, he would have no doubt known that he still had the bracelet in there. That is the poorest part of the writing so far, is that gotcha moment. It doesn't work. He walked down the stairs and headed back to where he was supposed to be. That was when he met Guy X and mistook him for Snake. Snake was on his way to the large hospital room and had not noticed Ace behind him. Ace made sure it stayed that way. He followed the man wearing Snake's clothes to door 3. When the man stopped, he walked up behind him quietly and called out, "Snake!" The man turned to look at Ace. He said nothing. No words came out of his half-open mouth. He seemed dazed somehow, almost like a man half asleep. Perhaps he had been drugged. It didn't matter to Ace. Ace was certain the man was Snake. He knew Snake had been part of the nonary game 9 years before. Snake hadn't recognized Ace immediately, but he was blind. That much made sense. Why then hadn't Snake said anything to him? Surely he hadn't forgotten what had happened to him in the nonary game, but not once had he attempted to confront Ace. That's not Snake. That's not Snake. That's guy. Yeah, but that's not even the guy that was Snake beforehand, right? Like, I was under the assumption that Snake was just fake from the beginning and Clover was in on it. Because the thing is, Snake does move his left arm quite often. His eyes seem closed. They do. I'm guessing the real Snake is in the coffin then. So you can't see him. That's how it works. I'm guessing this guy and the real Snake have been swapped. And maybe the left arm stuff in the rest of the game is kind of a, error to some point. So, like, the original Snake was really Snake, or I'm looking too much into this really badly drawn version of Snake. But that's the wrong hair color for a start. Snake had white hair, and they do have the white streaks in Lion's hair. Lion's hair? Why am I calling him Lion? In Ace's hair. So I'm guessing Snake is probably in the coffin right now. But that doesn't make any sense to why Ace used his, or not Ace, Snake used his left hand quite often. He moved his left arm quite often in the beginning of the game. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Perhaps his lack of sight had prevented him from recognizing Ace, or perhaps Snake had conspired with Zero to deceive Ace. In either event, he was a threat, and it was better to deal with him sooner rather than later. Ace's mind was made up. He moved. He held the number 9 bracelet over the red. Thank you for the bears. He waved his own bracelet in front of the red and finally grabbed Snake's arm and shoved him against the scanner panel. The door opened. Ace threw the man through it. It might just be a bad picture of Ace, to be fair. Not Ace, Snake. I'm getting them mixed up now. 9 seconds later, the door shut. 81 seconds passed. The man inside the door passed away. After that, I returned to my post as though nothing had happened. After conducting my own search, I returned to the large hospital room when the 1 a.m. bell rang. Ace's eyes were cold and his cheeks were hollow and pallid. When he spoke, only his lips and tongue moved. The rest of his face was eerily still. Junpei glared at Ace. He took a deep breath and thought about the next question he had to ask. He didn't want to. He knew what the answer would be. He just didn't want to hear it. Junpei swallowed, then spoke. Ace, did you kill Clover? Yes. Why? Why did you kill her? She was Snake's sister. It was possible he had told her something dangerous. Additionally, she had gone through door 1. It seemed likely she might have found it. Found what? Why don't you go through door 1 yourself? Perhaps it's hidden somewhere. Seven and Lotus interrupted. Yeah, but Lotus and I went through door 1 too. We didn't see anything suspicious. Yes, I thought as much after I heard your report at the central stairs. I doubt the two of you could find it. Huh? Huh? But perhaps Clover was different. Perhaps she had found it. I was, therefore, desperate to find her. And at last I did, in the first-class cabin. I spoke very calmly. Did you see it? See what? Don't act as if you don't understand. You were in the captain's quarters, weren't you? Huh? What are you talking about? Very well. By the way, what were you doing here, Clover? What? Nothing. There's blood on your shoes. It looks fresh. Did you go take a look at the 9th man's corpse? I see. Your silence suggests that you noticed. You saw something, didn't you? You saw that his bracelet was gone. Is he just, like, making that? Did Clover actually know this? Or is he just, like, really a bad villain? Clover ran. She made for the exit, but Ace stood in her way. You aren't going anywhere. He caught her by the collar as she passed and threw her to the floor hard. He leapt back up and dived past him into the hallway. Ace followed at a run. He was faster. That was how I killed Clover. His face hadn't changed. If he felt guilt or remorse at anything one might feel after taking the life of another human being, it didn't show. What's for dinner? I don't actually know. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why I even attempted to think of something. Welcome back again, Dyer. I hope going outside was okay. I hope you're still alive. You son of a bitch. Seven's whole body trembled with rage and his voice rumbled with hate. It's so hot out there, I can imagine. I was like, maybe I don't need my fan on anymore, and I turned my fan off for like a minute. Santa's eyes were bloodthirsty, and Lotus and June's faces were distorted by anger and hatred. Ace looked at them and smiled. It was a cold, cruel thing with no humor in it. He shook his head and sighed. I admit it, I've lost. I have lost completely and utterly. but don't misunderstand, Junpei. I didn't lose to you. I lost to Zero, not you. I'm rather disgusted with myself for falling into such a simple trap. And it was a trap, make no mistake. I was trapped and manipulated by Zero. The man I killed in the shower room. If he wasn't Snake, then I have no idea who he was. But he was wearing Snake's clothes, and that was no coincidence. He had also been injected with something that reduced his cognition and prevented him from identifying himself or resisting me. And we can't forget the components that were removed from the red before we arrived. I have no doubt that Zero planned all of this. Zero made sure I would kill that man. It follows, of course, that Zero knew everything I would do. That I would try to take the number 9 bracelet. That I would try to kill Snake. Everything. Suddenly, Junpei remembered the paper he'd found in the safe. He remembered the last words Zero had written on it. I must punish them for the innocent lives they sacrificed. This is the only warning they will receive. That innocent souls might be saved. I now state the truth. Zero. And he remembered other words. Words he'd heard from Clover. I think Zero is one of us. One by one, Junpei looked at the 5 people standing in front of him. Ace. Santa. June. Seven. Lotus. Zero is one of us? No, Junpei paused. There was one more person. Snake. It was clear now that the man who died in the shower room was not Snake. That meant that Snake was almost certainly still alive. Perhaps Snake was Zero. Perhaps Snake had made Guy's ex wear his clothes so that he would appear to be dead. Where was Snake now? Perhaps he was somewhere laughing at them. Oh, let's go to the coffin. Oh, we don't know about the coffin. Who died in the blimmin' shower? Clover died in the shower. The little girl, well, the younger girl. If he was Zero, surely he had lied about many other things. Was he watching them? Well, I believe I finished with my confession. Why don't we get moving? He sounded as if he'd just finished doing nothing more exciting than describing the weather. For Santa, it was the last straw. What the hell is this shit? You aren't going anywhere, you son of a bitch. We're gonna leave your ass here to rot. Why? Because I killed Clover? That's ridiculous. Why are you so upset that I killed the little bitch? She was nothing to you. A stranger you only met a few hours ago. Am I wrong? You bastard. Seven roared and lifted a fist that would likely have shattered Ace's jaw, but someone else was faster. It was Lotus. Hell fucking yes, it was Lotus. She stepped toward Ace, raised a fist of her own, and drove it straight into his nose. Oh! Yes! Lotus! Hell fucking yes! Huh? You've got some fire, don't you? I confess I rather like a tough woman. He sniffed and wiped a small trickle of blood from his nose with a raised eyebrow. Well, maybe you'd like another one then. Before that, let me give you one of my own. Huh? Lotus scarcely had time to blink. He snaked his arms around her and pulled Lotus's back up against him. In the same motion, he reached into his coat pocket. It was a gun, the revolver. Almost lazily, he tilted it to point at Lotus's head. If any of you so much as blink, I won't hesitate to pull the trigger. I've already killed 2, no, 3 people. Don't think I'm not ready to make it 4. 3 people? What do you mean? Very well. Let me take this opportunity to illuminate you. The person who killed the 9th man was me. Although I suppose to be more accurate, I encouraged him to get himself killed. While we were examining the main staircase, he came to me and told me his name. I recognized it at once. So I gave him a little push. Just a little white lie. It seems the settings for the dead were altered. Now it only requires a single person to deactivate the detonator in the bracelet. Investigate what's beyond door 5. We'll meet again later. I was wrong about Snake, guys. I was wrong about Snake. A golden gun. Her boobs are shiny. Her boobs are very, very shiny. Okay, have a good one, guys. I'm going up ahead now. Well then. Shit. Why isn't it stopping? God damn it. I lied. Open the door, please. I'm begging you. Help me, please. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. Scaramanga. Oh my god, there's no time left. Listen, I was lied to. He lied to me. He put me in here. It was him. He killed me. It was him. Yeah, why didn't he just say a fucking name? I had 4 reasons for killing him. 1. As I said before, in the nonary game, the number 9 bracelet is of utmost importance. If I had allowed him to keep such a useful tool, he or it would have become a threat to me. As such, I decided that he should be eliminated early on. 2. I wanted the number 9 bracelet. If I could manage to obtain it, I would be able to manipulate the game as I saw fit. I would be unable to acquire the bracelet unless its owner was dead. 3. Even setting aside his number, he would have been nothing but trouble for me. He was aware of my past. He knew what happened here 9 years ago. It was important that I eliminate him before he was able to disseminate this information. 4. Lastly, I wish to conduct a simple test. A test to see if the nonary game was serious or a poor attempt at a joke. I needed to be quite sure. As such, I encouraged him to act against the rules so that I might observe the outcome. Junpei glared at him. I don't get your third motive. What the hell happened 9 years ago? Borber dinner? Wait, what's a Borber dinner? Am I being dumb? Didn't I say the nonary game was played? I planned it out and I conducted its execution. Why? What on earth was it supposed to do? Oh, burger. Fair, fair. I don't really think I have any obligation to tell you that. Ace smirked. He was trying to provoke them and it was working. Although Ace had paid very little attention to Lotus after catching her, the gun had never wavered from her temple. She looked quite pale, and when she spoke, her voice shook. Hey, what's with this gun? Where did he get this? Why don't you tell us, Santa? Santa ground his teeth and glared at Ace. On the other side of door 6, we found the gun in the coffin in the cargo room, right? The bastard must have grabbed it when we weren't looking. Indeed I did. That was a pretty serious mistake, you know. We literally said that last week. We genuinely sat here and said how stupid that was. Just saying you intended to leave it behind. Ace laughed, a short derisive snort, and gave Junpei a sickeningly pitying look. Well, there isn't much time left. I'll be off then. Well, where are you going? I really need to explain. I had assumed it would be obvious. I have the number 9 bracelet, and I now have Lotus. 9 plus 8 plus 1 equal 18. This is why in the Clover ending he only wanted Lotus. Because he can get through the door with Lotus and himself and the 9 bracelet, but not with us. It makes sense now. And that's always why he wanted Lotus's bracelet. I got the Lotus bracelet thing, guys. I got it, remember? Where is it? I've literally written it down somewhere. Where was it? 8 plus 9 plus 1 equal 18 equal 9. Ace was the guy that was taking all the bracelets. It's why they always took her bracelet. I've literally written it down. Because they made such a big deal of her not having a bracelet at the end. I got that. Wasn't there a door with a 9 on it at the room that looked like a church? That's where you're going, isn't it? And how do you know that? Santa told me about it while we were looking for Clover. I see. Well, you were correct. That is my destination. But now I must say goodbye to all of you. And please don't forget my warning. Move and I'll pull the trigger. I don't need her alive to open the door, you know. As he spoke, Ace began backing toward the door, practically dragging Lotus behind him. Junpei, Santa, June, and Seven stood frozen. Ace had the face of a man gone mad. They had no doubt he would pull the trigger. Ace had reached the exit. He forced Lotus to open it, then turned and addressed them once more. Goodbye. Then he stepped through the door. No, the bracelet doesn't deactivate. The bracelet, like, comes off. So, like, the bracelet has never been seen to deactivate, I don't believe. But you can't remove it unless it's dead. It fell shut. In the blink of an eye, they were gone. As soon as Ace and Lotus were gone, Junpei and the others leapt for the door in pursuit of Ace. But as Junpei laid his hand on the doorknob, there was a noise behind him. He looked over his shoulder. June was kneeling on the floor, breathing heavily. Hey, June, what happened? Are you alright? Santa ran to June and wrapped his arm around her before she could collapse all the way. Jesus, you're burning up. Your fever's back. Are you okay? June's fever had returned, again, for no apparent reason. Her eyes were watery and her eyelids drooped. Her breath came in dry, shallow gasps. I'm okay. Really, I'm fine. You should be worrying about Lotus. She was breathing hard now, and she could barely summon the strength to talk. Junpei was torn. He couldn't leave June alone in the state she was in. But every moment they waited, Ace was further away, Lotus's life in his hands. What was Junpei supposed to do? June's eyes drifted to Junpei's. She managed to muster a weak smile. Jumpy, don't worry about me. I just need a little rest. I'll be fine. Don't you remember? I just needed to rest a little bit last time. So please save Lotus. Think about what Ace has already done, Junpei. When he's got what he needs from Lotus, you really think he's gonna let her go? Oh, just walk away? God damn it. You guys go on ahead. As soon as June starts feeling better, we'll follow you. Go. Junpei looked at June. She nodded once. She couldn't manage much more, but it was all the confirmation Junpei needed. His resolve was set. Alright, come on, Seven. We're going after Ace. Hell yeah. Santa, you take good care of June. I'm trusting you. Santa nodded. Junpei turned before he had a chance to change his mind and started running toward the door. He could hear Seven's heavy footsteps behind him. Let's go. Junpei and Seven exploded into the hallway, their feet pounding the metal floor as they ran. We're running, guys. Oh, I mean, I got a message as well. Jesus Christ, it's late. I did not know it was this late. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm going so late. To invested now. Junpei and Seven had finally arrived at the church, exhausted and out of breath. As their lungs struggled to catch their breath, their eyes frantically scanned the room. No sign of Ace or Lotus. Do you think they already went through? He reached up to wipe a palmful of sweat from his brow. Maybe. Even as he spoke, Junpei was already on his way to the larger of the number 9 doors. He looked at the red. The display read vacant. He spun around and headed toward the smaller door. The red would tell him if Ace and Lotus had moved to another room. Engaged. It's occupied. That means Ace and Lotus went through there. Does Junpei go to a church? Cooldown? No. I have put a cooldown on it. Actually, the cooldown isn't actually meant to stay. It was meant to only be there until I experimented with the new bot. And I forgot to experiment with the bot because you haven't been around. I'll go back and check the bot settings. Basically, I'm not sure if I can stack stuff and mix it up yet. I need to look at that. Yeah, it seems like it. Junpei and Seven stepped away from the door. They retreated to the center of the room and began to talk. What do we do now? Yeah, what should we do? Well, the big door is still vacant, but the two of us can't do anything with it. Yeah. First of all, our digital route is not 9. Just then, as they were pondering what to do next. Diet? You have been gone? I have a new bot? Nothing works? You don't understand the pain I've been through. Not sorting out all of my shit. Wait a minute, give me a second, guys. That's the hydrate, by the way. There was a noise like someone hitting a thick wooden panel. Junpei looked up, surprised. Seven followed suit, his eyes jumping around the room, looking for the source of the sound. It wasn't long before they found the altar. Or more precisely, what was on it. The coffin. Yeah, let's open it. How? By force. I don't think that's gonna happen. Well, you never know till you try, right? The only necessity for success is a willingness to suffer 1,000 failures. Who said that? I forget. Anyway, we've got to try. Junpei and Seven leapt at the coffin. They grabbed hold of what purchase they could find and pulled. Ugh! Ugh! Damn it. See, didn't I tell you? If you could just pull it open, why would it have something like that? 7 pointed at a keypad on the side of the coffin. Right, so unless I put in the right passcode, it's not going to open. The noise hadn't stopped. In fact, as it continued, it had only gotten louder and more forceful. What were they supposed to do? Junpei wondered. Was there some sort of clue somewhere? Oh, this is a nice little animation. They stood there for a few moments, staring at the coffin, and then 7 spoke. Hey, Junpei, I remember you mumbling about some weird numbers over by the bathroom in the first-class cabin. You got those numbers by solving the secret message Clover was holding, right? Truth had gone or something like that. Yeah, that's right. What about it? Well, maybe that number's the passcode for this thing, too. Come on, that's impossible. Those numbers were the code to unlock that safe. Yep, that person who set up that safe in this coffin is the same person, right? Zero set up both of these. Yeah, probably. Well then, they might have set the same passcode for both of them. That's ridiculous. Why don't you just try it? I mean, it's not like you'll make things any worse. It'll just be a waste of time. There's no way they're the same number. How do you know that? You never know until you try. The only necessity for success is the willingness to suffer 1,000 failures. Who said that? You? Oh, 7, I love you. Ugh, fine. He knelt down in front of the keypad and looked at it. Perhaps because he'd repeated them so many times before, the numbers came easily to Junpei's mind. 14383421. Quickly, he typed them in. He checked that he'd entered the right numbers, took a deep breath, and pressed the E button. It only took a moment. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. There was a click. And with a heavy clunk, the lid of the coffin slid off onto the floor. Someone sat up from inside. Snake! You, why? Okay, I've got to admit, he kind of looks a little hot like that. He might still be the murderer, but he's kind of a sexy murderer in that outfit. Ah, those voices. Junpei and 7, unless I'm mistaken. Snake goodbye. He's got some cultist vibes. Where are the others? Are they elsewhere? Of course, there was no reason Snake would have known anything about where anyone else would be. Junpei and 7 looked at one another. There was a great deal he needed to know, but... They had to tell him something, however, so they began to talk. Snake explained to them how he'd come to be locked in the coffin. Apparently, he'd been hit with some sort of knockout gas, and Junpei and 7 explained what had happened to the rest of them. There was one thing, however, that neither 7 nor Junpei could bring themselves to say, that Ace had killed Clover. They feared that if Snake knew, he might well go insane. They decided as much by a look that moment Snake had climbed out of the coffin. Snake's story explained frustratingly little. Zero's true identity was a mystery, as were his intentions. Why had Zero put Guy X in Snake's clothes? If Zero had left a note for them to say the nonary game had been played 9 years before, was there some connection? Junpei put the question to Snake. His answer was less than illuminating. What are you talking about? I apologize, but I have no idea what you're saying. It seemed as though Snake was perhaps not being entirely honest, but that knowledge did Junpei and 7 little good. No matter how many times they asked, he insisted that he knew nothing. It was becoming clear that Snake wouldn't give in, and every second they spent asking him was a second wasted. Their time limit was fast approaching. Snake's release from the coffin had changed nothing. They still needed to follow Ace as quickly as possible, however. They stood in silence, the overpowering atmosphere of the chapel almost stifling. Junpei, 7, and Snake simply stood at the loss for what they should do next. What do we do now? He glanced over at Snake's wrist. Sure enough, he could see the 2 on the bracelet on Snake's wrist. The 3 of us can't make a digital route of 9. Yeah, we just get 5. We're stuck here then. Oh, hey, I just remembered something. 7 began patting his pockets as if they were checking to see if any of them held anything. What? What is it? I found something earlier. What did you find? This. He'd finally found the pocket he'd wanted, and his hand dove into it. 7 pulled out something round and metal. A bracelet. There was no mistaking the number glowing at them from the face like a cartoon eye. 0. Zero's bracelet. What the hell? Are you saying that 7 has the number 0 bracelet? Yeah. Why did you get that? Snake's question was innocent enough, but if he learned the truth, if he'd been able to see, he would have noticed 7 look away. Clover gave it to me. She did? Yeah. How did she come by it? Well, she found it, see? On the other side of the door door 1, A deck, in the captain's quarters. She asked me to hold on to it, because it was too big and bulky for her to be lugging around. It was a lie, and Junpei knew it. I haven't actually looked at it yet. Didn't want to disturb the crime scene, you know. Basic stuff. Well, I did borrow one thing. I'm just down to just take yours off. Alright, Junpei. Be nice knowing you. What? What? 7 plus 2 plus 0 equal 9. Come on, man. I'm just kidding. Still, just in case, I want to make sure the 0 bracelet gets picked up by the red. Snake, give me a hand, alright? Without waiting for a response, he started walking toward the door. Junpei and Snake followed him quietly. Before long, they found themselves in front of the larger of the 2 doors. 7 and Snake put their palms up to the red. Once they'd done that, 7 put the number 0 bracelet on the scanner panel as well. A third asterisk appeared on the screen. 7 plus 2 plus 0 equal 9. Now they just needed to pull the lever and the door would open. Huh? Why isn't it opening? Well, the third asterisk lit up, so it must have registered the 0 bracelet. Maybe it isn't actually 0, huh? What? That bracelet may not actually produce the number 0 when scanned. That is what I'm saying. Why don't we try a few different combinations? Perhaps we could determine what number that bracelet actually contains. Junpei nodded. They decided to use the following combination. Alright, let's do Snake. Snake and Junpei plus the mysterious bracelet. Snake plus Junpei, 2 plus 5 equals 7. If that combination worked, then the mysterious bracelet number was 2. However... the door didn't open. The mysterious bracelet wasn't 2. Junpei continued. Okay. Junpei plus 7 plus the mysterious bracelet. Alright. That combination worked, and the mysterious bracelet's number was 6. They scanned in their bracelets. Fuck! Fuck! June's back to being sus! I don't know, I'm making lots of stupid... It opened. Yes, so it would seem. 7 clearly hadn't thought their experimentation would produce anything useful. And looked rather confused. Snake was, as usual, calm and smug. The door slid closed. Junpei's forehead furrowed as he thought. That meant the number for the mysterious bracelet was 6. But how could it be 6? The display on the bracelet clearly showed a 0. Suddenly, from somewhere far beneath them, they heard the creak and groan of tearing metal. With it came the sound of water pouring into parts of the ship that had until recently been dry. Oh man, that's not good. I guess our time's about up, huh? At any rate, we know now that the door can be opened. Let's go. But, Snake, are you sure? Yeah, you know that only Junpei can go through this door. You needn't worry. I have a solution to this problem. My last resort. But if now is not the time for last resorts, then when? Last resort? This is so long. Junpei, 7, and Snake ran, full tilt down a long straight hallway. They were headed for the stern of the ship and had no time for distractions. As they ran, 7 spoke. Gotta admit, you really surprised me there, kid. I couldn't figure out how the hell you were going to get out of that one. How come you didn't do that right off the bat? As I told you, it was a last resort. Had I used it at the beginning of the game, I would have come under a great deal of suspicion. I imagine most people would have taken it to mean that I was Zero. Once they'd convinced themselves of that, I wasn't optimistic about my chances of making it out of here alive, let alone unscathed. I felt it best to play my cards close to the chest, as it were. That way, if I were in a situation where there was nothing else I could do, I'd have a little trick up my sleeve. I'd just take my bracelet off. Snake's plan had been simple but effective. He'd simply removed his bracelet. How? To Junpei, it looked as though Snake had simply crushed the bones of his hand until they were small enough to fit through the wristband. Of course, that would have been practically impossible, so how had he done it? My brother's left arm is, not like a normal person's arm. It's fake. It's not a real arm. Snake had slid the bracelet off and tossed it into the coffin. With it gone, he'd had little to fear from the numbered doors. He'd walked through the door easily without authenticating. He stepped out of the other side unscathed and began running down the hall alongside Seven and Junpei. They kept running for a while longer and eventually came upon a set of stairs leading downward on the right side of the hallway. That also doesn't make sense, though. If his bracelet was always on his fake arm, it wasn't able to know he was alive, right? They stopped and peered down the staircase. As far as they could tell, it went all the way to the bottom deck. There didn't seem to be any flooding. They nodded quickly to one another and jogged down the stairs. It took only a few minutes to make their way to the bottom deck. There was a single hallway in front of them, at the end of which was a single door. Junpei threw it open. Inside was a massive iron gate. A plate was affixed to the top of it. It read incinerator. Incinerator? Oh my, that doesn't sound very pleasant. Do you see a lever near the gate, perhaps? Yeah, right over here. How did you know that? Well, I'd be happy to regale you with the story. I imagine it should only take half a day or so. Ugh. Junpei grumbled, gave Snake a dirty look, and jogged over to the lever. So he mistake it from them to make? I know. If you pull it, the door ought to open. Got it. He pulled the lever down. Yeah, I'm snoozing the ads, don't worry. That ad has already been snoozed once. It will be snoozed again. With the rumble of an ancient motor, the door opened. There was no need to hold back and no time to hesitate. They pushed their way inside. Standing in front of them were Ace and Lotus. Ace still held the revolver in his hand. It was still pressed hard against Lotus's temple. A small dark bruise had begun to form near the tip. Even from several yards away, Junpei could see that Lotus was shaking. She was terrified. But perhaps more interesting was what Junpei saw behind them. 9. Another number 9 door. But why? Why was there another one? The door stopped Junpei in his tracks. It simply shouldn't have been there. As his brain finally began to consider why, the whine of a warning klaxon filled the air, drowning out any thought. Warning. Warning. Emergency incineration command has been acknowledged. Automatic incineration will take place in 9 minutes. Please evacuate the incinerator immediately. Oh my, how exciting. You've run quite a show here, Zero. A terrifying smile twisted Ace's face. What's the matter? Too frightened to understand? Here, let me explain. It's said that the incinerator system is about to activate. In 9 minutes, this room will be engulfed in flame. Huh? Who are you? You don't recognize me. I'm hurt. It's me, Snake. Snake? Ah, yes, you are alive. I'm afraid your bizarre style had me confused. I'm quite glad to see that you're alive. Ace's voice didn't change. Snake ground his teeth. If you don't mind my asking, how did you get here? Snake, Junpei, 7. The 3 of you couldn't have opened a door with a 9. Did you use Clover's bracelet, perhaps? What? 2 plus 5 plus 7 plus 4 equal 18. Ah, well, your reaction suggests that you did not. Hold on. Why did you think we'd have Clover's bracelet? Junpei felt his chest tighten. Oh, they haven't told you. Told me what? Clearly not. Normally I would take some time and enjoy the moment, but I'm afraid my time is at a premium just now. I'll have to make this quick. Clover. Don't do it, Ace. Keep your goddamn mouth shut. Clover. I said stop it. Don't listen to him, Snake. Junpei could feel his voice going hoarse, but Snake didn't listen to him. What happened to Clover? Ace looked at him. The corner of his mouth curled into the hook of a cruel smile. Clover died. The color left Snake's face. He shook his head weakly. No, that's not true. That's impossible. It's a lie. It has to be a lie. Oh, it's quite true. I can assure you of that. I killed her myself, you see. What? I'm sorry, did I stutter? I killed her. Snake's face twisted into a mask of rage, mottled red rising to dot his pale skin. His entire body shook. He looked at Junpei disturbingly like a demon. I would have rather she died with less suffering. A bullet in her brain, perhaps, would have been ideal. Unfortunately, that would have made quite a bit of noise. Circumstances being what they were, I was forced to settle for the knife. The one the ninth man had, you remember? I believe I caught it just below the shoulder blade. I was rather lucky, in fact. My first thrust went right between her ribs. Her flesh was so soft. Oh, God. My knife slid in so easily, there was no resistance. That feeling was, I confess, I feel rather excited. It was a powerful memory. Oh my God. I'm loving all of this, but I also want this to end. I am speaking way too much. I am tired. Someday, perhaps. I hope I can feel it again. Incineration will begin in 7 minutes. I'm gonna kill you. Snake's words were a guttural growl, barely audible. I'm sorry, what? I'm gonna kill you. Ah, so you're gonna kill me? Please do. Come now, I'm waiting. Don't do it. Don't listen to him, Snake. Stop it, kid. He's screwing with your head. Is there a problem? What are you waiting for, boy? Don't you want me to send you to join your sister? Don't. Snake. Don't do it. But Snake could no longer hear them. Snake could no longer hear anything. God, that looks cool. Snake moved like a bolt of lightning. His scream echoed through the incineration chamber, full of rage and despair. Snake! Snake! Another scream filled the room. It was Lotus. She ran across the room toward Junpei, her eyes wide with terror. Snake's ill-fated attack had loosened Ace's grip on her, and she'd made a run for it. She reached Seven and Junpei and ducked behind them. Junpei could feel her fingers on his arm, tight enough to be painful, keeping him between her and Ace. Incineration will begin in 5 minutes. Give me the woman. He raised the gun. I need her. Without her bracelet, I will be unable to open this door. Yeah, I don't need to do the math. Quickly now. I don't have time for your shenanigans. In the center of the room, Snake's body lay eerily still. He looked like a human larva, prone and vulnerable on the floor. I see. Then it would seem I have no choice. The rest of you must die as well. Fortunately, I have 5 bullets left. 1 for Junpei, another for Lotus, and the last 3 for that lump of idiotic man you call Seven. I will take Lotus's body with me and leave this room. Incineration will begin in 4 minutes. Well, it looks as though our time together is at an end. I rather enjoyed playing with you. Goodbye. Junpei could see Ace's finger tighten. He could see it begin to squeeze down on the trigger, his body tense, preparing for the catastrophic impact of hot lead against human flesh. Then it happened. Snake stood up. What? No, that's impossible. For the first time, Ace's composure broke. With obvious effort, Snake lunged forward, 1 step closer to Ace, then another. He looked for all the world like a zombie. I'll kill you. I'll kill you. His voice was the mournful wailing of the undead. Stay away from me. Get back. Stop. If you come any closer, I'll get away from me. Little by little, Ace was retreating. Snake didn't stop. He continued his stiff, inexorable approach. His eyes twin pools of pure fury. Then listen to me. I said don't come any closer. Shit. You bastard. Ace's revolver leapt 5 times. 5 times the air in the incinerator was split by the crack of a bullet. Snake's body twitched as 5 clouds of blood and torn flesh leapt into the air across his body. A fine pink mist drifted from his body and disappeared. Snake made a strange sort of choking cough. And then his strength was gone. His legs crumpled and his broken and battered body slid to the floor. Incineration will begin in 3 minutes. But Snake wasn't done. Even as the pool of blood beneath him grew, he began to move. He half crawled, half slid toward Ace. 1 bloody arm wrapped itself around Ace's leg, and the other gripped his thigh with strength that should have been long gone. You son of a bitch, you're a monster. Get off of me. Let me go. Damn you. He kicked at Snake with his free leg, driving his foot into Snake's face, his arm, his shoulder. It made no difference. Snake refused to release him. Once a snake has ensnared his prey, rarely does it release it. Ugh! This is it, Ace. We're gonna burn to death together. What? Incineration will begin in 2 minutes. Ah! Damn it! Damn you! Get off! Let me go, you monster! Okay. Look, think about it this way. My company owns a wonderful hospital. It has excellent doctors. You're not wounded too seriously. I'm sure they can fix you up easily. You don't have to die. You can be saved. Just let me go. Pathetic. Begging for your life. Then Seven and Lotus began to speak. Junpei could hear tears in their voices and the words were strained. Snake, that's enough. You can stop now. Yes, he's right, Snake. You've done enough. Come on, Snake, let's go. Let's get out of here. You have to come with us. We have to leave together. Snake turned toward them. He coughed and blood splattered across the floor. Then he smiled, a sad sort of smile. I apologize, but I'm afraid I can't do that. You'd best forget about me. You need to leave soon. I'm gonna take him with me. Shut up. Be quiet. I couldn't save Clover. My sister died because of me. Perhaps this will begin to atone for that. Perhaps in the afterlife she can forgive me. Now go. Go on. Go now. You have to go. Incineration will begin in 1 minute. God damn it. Shit. We're out of time. We have to go. Seven ran toward the exit. Lotus followed him. But Junpei couldn't move. There were white lines down Snake's cheeks. There were white lines down Snake's cheeks where his tears had washed the blood away. He was broken, body and soul, and Junpei felt as though half of his own heart had been torn out. His eyes stung, and he tried desperately to swallow to clear the lump in his throat. Junpei, what are you doing? You have to get out of here now. Junpei's chest tightened, pulled taut by anger, misery, and a cold feeling of emptiness. Pure emotion surged through his heart alongside the torrent of blood. He could feel it building, a tremendous wave growing taller and taller and taller, and then it broke, crashing down with thunderous force into his shaken, unprepared mind. Snake! 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 Junpei's rational mind was gone. He was driven by instinct now, and he launched himself across the floor at Snake and Ace. Or he tried to. Wait, don't be an idiot, Junpei. He felt a hand grab him from behind. It was Seven. Before he had time to react, the larger man had pinned Junpei's arms to his side and was hauling him bodily back toward the door. No! No! I have to help Snake! 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 Get off of me! Let me go! Incineration will begin in 10 seconds. 7, 6. Damn it, I don't got a choice, kid. Don't blame me for this, alright? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Gates 2 and 3 are locked down, beginning incineration. Junpei felt Seven's fist bury itself deep in his stomach, and then his legs turned to mush. Seven scooped him up at the same motion and leapt through the door. It slammed shut behind them. Junpei struggled to shaky feet. He glanced over to see Lotus only a short distance away. Junpei ran to the door. There was a small window cut into it. Inside, he could see Ace and Snake. Shit! Damn you all! Why? Why? Why me? I don't deserve this! Answer me! Answer me, Zero! Thank you. Why? Why? 0, 0! 0, 0, 0? Oh, that's a cool death. Why? Tell me why. 0! Thank you for the hydrate. He didn't know how much time passed. He didn't know how long he stood there in front of the incinerator. He looked to the side. Lotus's face was ashen, and if not for the hand she'd put against the wall, Junpei didn't think she could have stood. Seven looked old and tired and used. His eyes stared at the floor, seeing nothing. Junpei said nothing. He simply began to walk toward the open door and the hallway they'd come down earlier. Hey, wait, Junpei. Junpei, where are you going? He blinked. When their voices broke the silence, he stopped. You stay here. I'll go get Santa and June. You're gonna bring them here? How? Don't worry about that. Just stay here and wait. Alright. He began to walk again. He looked over his shoulder and watched Seven and Lotus grow smaller and smaller. They stared back, not moving. He wasn't sure if they could. He turned around again. He knew where he was going. When they'd walked through the hallway earlier, he'd noticed an elevator at the end of the side hallway. If it still worked, then maybe. Before long, Junpei found himself in front of the elevator. Next to the door was a button with a triangle on it. He pushed it and the door opened. Oh, is this how we get to the library for the true ending? Oh, this might be how we get there. Junpei was in the large hospital room. Oh no, this is the hospital room, never mind. June, Santa! He kept calling and walked to the center of the room. But try as he might, he couldn't find them. Ugh, damn it. Where did they go? Increasingly frustrated and increasingly worried, Junpei left the large hospital room. He had no choice. He would have to look for them. Junpei's heart was heavy. He couldn't shake the feeling, but there was a part of him that felt it would be wrong to even if he could. With every step he took, his legs felt more and more like lead. Sometime later, Junpei found himself at the chapel. He stepped inside, expecting to find nothing. But there on the red carpet in the center of the room... June. No codenames didn't matter any longer. She was Canny. Canny! Junpei cried her name and ran. Like lightning, he ran across the room toward her. Oh man, Canny! He stumbled to the stop. As he looked down at her body, lying so still on the floor, he felt the icy grip of fear upon his heart. She was still, so very still. No, it couldn't be. It was impossible. Slowly, Junpei bent down towards her. His hands shook and he felt very cold and very hot at the same time. He forced himself to look. Her back was moving. Slowly, it rose and fell. Relief washed over him. Canny! Junpei reached down and gently, very gently lifted her up. Canny, are you alright? Jumpy. Her face was pale and her lips were dry and cracked. Her eyes were blank and cloudy. They stared straight at Junpei but saw nothing. Trembling, Junpei wrapped his arm around her back. He was cold, very cold. Junpei tried to convince himself there was only his imagination, but she felt as though she were fading away. He could feel his heart pounding frantically in his chest. Oh man, Canny, what the hell happened to you? You feel... Jumpy, I'm sorry. Her voice was very faint. I might not make it. No way. No way am I gonna let you die. I'm gonna save you, I promise. Thank you, Jumpy. Thank you so much for everything. I was really happy to see you again, Jumpy. Really happy. Don't give me that I was crap. You're gonna see me again lots more times. You've just gotta hang on, alright, Canny? Jumpy, did you know? You meant a lot to me when we were kids. I've liked you for a long time, Junpei. A really long time. Junpei's vision had gone blurry. It took a moment to realize his eyes were filled with tears. He could feel a piercing point of heat deep in his heart like a white-hot flame. He looked down at Akane. Game over. There was a crack of static from above his head and a voice spoke. Zero. You son of a bitch. Where are you hiding? Junpei frantically scanned the ceiling for the source of the voice. I am right here. I've always been close to you. What the hell are you talking about? No matter. I will tell you again. Game over. This game has ended. No, it hasn't. I'm not gonna let it end yet. I'm gonna get out of here with Canny. You can't. That is impossible. Why? Because you chose the wrong path. The wrong path? That is correct. Your path was inevitable, however. Admit defeat. Where there is shadow, there is light. Where there is light, there is shadow. So it goes. What are you talking about? It matters not. The loser has been decided. I told you, I'm not gonna lose. No. You misunderstand. You haven't lost. I have lost. But what? Junpei didn't have time to ponder what that meant before. He heard the door slam shut behind him. He spun around. There was no one there. Was it Zero? I also would have been confused. Canny, wait here. I'll be right back, I promise. She managed a single nod. Junpei laid her back down gently and leapt for the door. He yanked it open and shot outside. No one. The hall was empty. There was nothing moving anywhere. Damn it. He didn't want to leave Canny alone any longer than he had to, so Junpei turned around and headed back to the chapel. Canny? She wasn't there. She wasn't anywhere. She'd been lying there on the floor just moments before, and now she was gone. Oh god. No, no. Where is she? Canny? Canny, Canny, Canny! Canny! His cry split the heavens themselves. He screamed until his voice gave out. Then he screamed some more, but there was nothing. No answer. His voice faded away, and all that remained was cold, unfeeling silence. That was when he noticed it. A strange smell, one he'd smelled before. The smell of a peculiar white smoke. Here's the sound. Here's the song. 9 seconds later, Junpei's mind winked out. We did it! We've got another ending, guys! Next week's gonna be the finale! God. Uncanny ending? You won't be here to see it? I'm sorry, Avia. Oh my god. I've got a hot dog, but this bun is very not helpful. That one did give us a lot of answers. As soon as I'm done with stream next week, I will DM you everything, Avia. Actually, I'm gonna ask, would anyone mind if we just finished this tomorrow instead so Avia could see the end? I know it's, Community Day, but would people mind if we missed Community Day for the ending of 999? We can maybe get some golfing at the end. Would not mind? Now it is time that the game begin. Oh! That does mean you have to wake up early tomorrow, Avia. Alright, I'm gonna say from here. Alright, we're gonna finish this tomorrow then. we're finishing this tomorrow. But now, we're gonna end, and I'm gonna find someone to raid. Oh, look, easy. I found someone to raid. We're gonna raid some weeb that I know. But yeah, I will be back tomorrow. We'll finish this off and then we'll do some golf afterwards. I'm gonna raid IR. I'm gonna finish my food. Do people want to hang out tonight? Do people want to join the voice chat? I can join the voice chat if people want to join the voice chat. I'll join the voice chat, then if you want to join, you can. But yeah, we'll finish this all tomorrow. It's been fun. I want to see the ending, and if Avia gets to see the ending, then I'm happy to do it tomorrow. But yeah, everyone go and say hello to not ABC, to IR. It's been a good day. It's been a very good day. Thank you for all the raids. We can rage about it. Thank you for all the raids, for all the follows and everything else. I appreciate it. But yeah, I need to end. I'm so tired. I just need to end. Go say hi.